Greetings and welcome once again to Roman of the Empire. I am your host, Roman. Tonight we have a very special show with a very special panel. We are talking about the film Dark City, which was a giant bomb when it came out, but became a huge weirdo cult classic for people like us. And we're going to talk about some trivia, some of the weird points, and go through the film itself. Before we roll, though, I do want to say prayers for Jana Catania. She is having some stuff going down, and so please, if you're out there, prayers for Jana. We do love Jana and Copa to a minor degree. So just saying that. And also, I want to say a big thank you to Jacob Ironside for making the thumbnail for the show this week. Jacob is just a master at this stuff. He is so good. That was creepy looking. It was great. It was great. He superimposed my already creepy face onto a creepy character. So that was no small feat, and he did it flawlessly. We do have a poll going tonight, so please chime in on the poll. And that would be, is this reality real? Is this inside Roman's head? There's not much going on in there, so that's probably not it.
Also misspelled, lastly, by the way.
Ninja actually Mr. Hand.
Yes, it has to be the third one. Has to be the third one.
Quite heavily at 73%. So before we get rolling, let's introduce this magnificent panel. I want to welcome back my wingman, my partner, the man who stopped me from bombing Uzbekistan at least 17 times. He is Shieldwall of Dragons. Welcome back, my brother.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's good to be back on the road to recovery. Yeah, so this is an awesome movie. It was awesome when it came out, and I think it's aged very well, especially compared to most of the stuff we get these days. So
you're going to say, especially compared to Roman, but that's
hey, that is not inaccurate, but it's not kind.
Yeah, but so this is going to be a great panel. It's good to be back, and glad to be here with everybody. So thanks a lot for having me on.
Welcome back, my friend. She will tell you if this is the way. She is the Untamed Mando, despite her best instincts, has returned once again. Welcome to the show, Mando. Oh, that hurts my soul so much every time they do it, yet they still continue.
You started this.
Yes, you did start it.
It's my fault. It's my fault.
I am glad to be back on the panel, be back with you guys. You guys are pretty cool, I guess. Pretty cool. I'll tell you what, I forgot that I had seen this movie like when I was younger until I saw it like earlier this week. I was like, oh, I have seen this movie, because I was thinking like, I don't think I've seen the movie, but I feel like I have. And then I started watching it. I was like, oh, this wasn't a fever dream. This was an actual movie.
Always a danger. Always a danger.
So yeah, just glad to be back. Hoping that we don't go 15 hours long.
No. Mrs. of the Empire has made it kind of clear that if we do go that long, I will be somewhere dark, and that's not.
So really 12 hours is the maximum, is what you're saying.
Not good.
Okay.
All right.
Romy, if you go that long again, I'm going to put you in the closet and I'm going to set the house on fire. Thank you, sweetheart. That's lovely. So he is the man that knows all the things about all the things. He is back with us once again. He is the unbearable 73, the Thad that shouldn't be. He is Matt. Welcome back to the show. John Matadoc?
John Murdoch.
See, what? No.
I tried to make it
there's two T's. One of them isn't an I. See, with my not good vision, I threw an I in there where it didn't need to be. How are you doing, Matt?
It's obscure, when I do that. So I'm doing okay. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. In these crisis times we live in.
Yeah, I would think simulation, but unfortunately, it's not.
That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part.
So it is not the 80s. It's not the 90s. It's definitely not anything from the 2000s. He is that 70s rock fan. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I'm completely intimidated by the strength of this panel. I don't know if I'm going to be completely intellectually outweighed. I'm feeling very, very nervous. It's great.
I've met us before, Brian. I wouldn't feel nervous.
It's great to be back. Thank you for one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's awesome.
And I do have some Kiefer Sutherland anecdotes. I might say them for later. But
excellent.
So you do know that in Scotland, this movie is called Dark Shitty. Dark Shitty.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's awesome.
In the shitty, yes.
So that's how we're going to get this going, is it?
I spent half an hour trying to explain.
Quite
I spent half an hour explaining to my wife that it wasn't Sin City, it was Dark City. She was getting the two movies confused.
Sin City is where I live.
Viva Las Vegas. Oh, well.
Oh, hell no.
Anyway, thanks for having me. This should be fun.
Have mercy.
Have mercy.
I think
Anyway.
so. I think this should be brilliant. He is the scourge of Gotham City, the nemesis of the Dark Knight. He is Joker Voice. Welcome back to the show, my friend. How are you tonight?
Oh, I am just fine. I'm on work release from Arkham, so I'm good to be here.
Excellent.
So what you're saying is they left the back door open again.
Yeah, basically.
Wide open.
So I was told on Tuesday that I would be here, and I'm like, oh, okay. That's totally fine. I Mando watched this years ago, so this was really like a first the watch again, and I'm just like, wow, this is
right.
Right, exactly.
It's a thing.
Yeah, no, it's a weird and interesting watch. I like Shieldwall. I think it holds up very well going into the modern era. So he is not just Jinja, nor is he just Ninja. He is the Jinga Ninja coming to us from the land of the rising sun. Welcome, James. Good to have you back, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me here. I feel very honored to be on such an amazing panel. It's been a while since
I know.
It's a given. I know it's been a while. Been on a bit of a hiatus. We're on summer vacation over here, so got the little one. Spent a lot of time with the family, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to do YouTube things. So, but I wasn't going to miss out on this, especially when Roman gives you the invitation. I mean, even though it was like about 10 minutes ago, but I'll take it.
Maybe an offer you couldn't refuse. An offer you couldn't refuse.
That's unkind. That wasn't nice. That wasn't nice to make me feel good.
No, this is a great movie. I've watched it several times, but like most of the times, it's just one of those movies you can have on in the background as you're doing work or something like that. You can enjoy just listening to it. Great music, good dialogue, and everything. So enjoy. Yeah, really looking forward to talking to you guys about it.
Awesome.
Hey,
he is the cycloptic force for good on the interwebs. He is high ego.
Wow. Damn.
Welcome back.
Good night, folks. That's the show.
That was great.
What?
Oh man.
I'm sorry, Ego. That was
it was good. It was hilarious. I'm actually, speaking of that, I'm probably going to go to the movie theater tomorrow when I go see Blue Beetle and see if I can get half off or only be able to see half the movie.
Ooh,
we'll
I'll let you know how it goes.
The good half for the bad half.
Yeah,
make sure you don't have to like gouge out the other eye while you're watching Blue Beetle.
Exactly.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
They should pay you to even watch half the movie.
I am lucky that that I am lucky that the theater by me matinees are only $5 and they go till 4 in the
Very
afternoon.
nice.
So
Okay, so you can, okay. I'll look forward to your review as well, man.
I'm
Of
going to
course.
go
So,
to this. I'm going to the cinema tomorrow to see a Korean movie called The Moon, and it'll be way better than Blue Beetle. Trust me.
That sounds good.
I mean, I have a review of just an article about Blue Beetle on my channel, and I like you could literally see my soul leave my body reading this article.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
no, this is
I
not
just
making
love-
me want to watch this.
It brought your soul low, cholo, in fact.
I just love the fact that we have a member of the panel that refers to the experience as the cinema. It just brings a level of class
Cinema.
to the entire thing.
The flicks, as we used to call it. The flicks.
Oh, there we
Remember
go.
the flicks?
Like,
You know,
so Ego,
Ego?
you haven't seen this movie. You hadn't seen this movie.
I've
before,
seen
right?
these shit. I have seen that shirt numerous times, and I work in a bar, so I'm just saying.
I know. I got it at beach town. It's very comfortable. That's the only reason I wear it in this room. Okay, it doesn't leave this room. I put on regular clothes. That's the only reason.
A lot of workout clothes like I wear just throughout my day because it's so comfy.
Yeah, it is. It's hot as hell out here, so it's just comfortable. with the
Working
sun,
out
that's
naked
all.
is by far the best.
You actually have
I'm
your
not wearing
clothes on
pants.
from the
Don't
It's
Yeah,
awkward
right
in the gym, of course, but
No. So, Ego, you hadn't seen Dark City. This was your first viewing?
It was a
you
long
forget that
time
you're-
ago. It was a long time ago, and it was way after The Matrix came out, and I didn't understand what I was watching. But I rewatched it, and now I'm like, The Matrix is if you said we have Dark City at home.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, I know Nosferatu mentioned that Matrix ripped off this movie, and I
Yeah.
like, yeah,
And I can see it.
Well-
And I can totally see it.
Point of fact, the
yeah,
Matrix actually reused sets and stuff from this movie.
Yes,
Oh,
they did.
really?
That makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
filmed literally in
Wow.
many of the same places in Australia,
Yeah.
that, and they just reuse sets. But that, by the way, is a thing with Australia and New Zealand. They make an industry of making all of these buildings and whatever. That if you watch enough stuff filmed down there, like if you watch fantasy stuff filmed, you'll see the same castles over and over again. You'll see the same. They have an industry of making sets and whatever, like real buildings and whatever, for it to be reused for all the stuff that's filmed down there.
Australia's
I
not
mean,
a
they used to
real
do that with
place.
westerns all the time.
That's what I've
I
heard.
can see that.
That's what I've heard. Not a real place.
Not a
It
real
doesn't actually
place.
exist.
How can
No.
anyone actually
Australia
film
is
that?
too real a place.
Oh, it's not Australia; it's Emuland because,
Australia.
like we all remember, they lost
Australia?
the war
That's right.
with
Australia.
birds.
Emu took it
Australia
over.
is the only place where 3 of the deadliest spiders in the world are common backyard pests.
And they all live in toilets.
Nope.
And
Yikes!
then Mike
No,
jumped in on them.
remember,
Thank you.
if you have to go in Australia, best beware. So let's look at the chat, see who is floating out there who decided to hang out with us, a bunch of weirdos tonight. We have Melvin Deeply from over in the UK. How are you, buddy? Nosferatu, my great undead friend, welcome to the chat. Stephen Ransom, pal, good to see you out there. Invader Zim, always love to see Invader Zim out there. And yeah, you asked the question of Ego. Your Barney out there, greetings and welcome to the show. Those are fun. I don't know what I'm looking at because I can't see very well. My good friend Tom from Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. Yeah, if you were at the Vegas meetup, you got to meet Tom. Tim's Talk is out there. Hello.
day I'll go to Vegas.
Schmickfaden, welcome, buddy. Good to see you.
That is true. That was directed at me.
So
So if I'm able to go to the Vegas meetup next year, which should I just like walk around aimlessly lost?
Well,
You're walking around aimlessly.
Everyone else
okay.
does.
Okay, well, walking around aimlessly lost, that's if you follow Romans. That's if Roman has the
Yes,
map.
I am not good with either maps or digital direction, so I'm map. So that it looks like everyone in the chat right now, at least everybody that I found. And if I missed you, I do apologize. Remember, I am very old. So we'll start going into some film stuff, shall we? I'll bring up the big
Do it.
screen here just so we can start
So-
looking at the things. Share, you fucking piece of shit. Do it. Share. I know you want to.
We talked about this with David Proyas. David is first name, right?
He's the guy who plays the hand.
Alex. He was the director for The Crow. If you remember, we talked about The Crow a while back.
Mhm.
And I pointed something out he did in there with the use of shadows, where he paralleled the comic book writers of shadows. Watch this film and watch how he uses shadows in this movie.
Yes.
He did a good job of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just going to try this again just from scratch. Sorry, everyone. I'm having mild technical difficulties. I apologize.
I mean, is it like different from any other stream?
No, actually, why is it just showing up as a black fucking screen?
Try moving forward between images and then back again. It might come back.
Are you just?
I've noticed this
VLC,
happening
or
a
do you have
lot
images
recently.
from it?
What just happened? Did something weird happen? Did anything happen?
Oh, there we go. We got
Thinking about it.
Is it coming? Is it coming?
I see the spinning
There
wheel.
we go. Had to be a better way to do that. Okay, so I have my notes here. We talked about most of those. No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's a black screen of death.
So that's it's a dark movie anyway. So you're looking at a lot of dark.
Yeah,
shit.
it's a dark. I had to turn up the like brightness on my computer. I was like, I can't see.
So we start off the film with Kiefer Sutherland's character, who is Dr. Daniel Schreiber, and he is actually named after. He was an author and I think maybe a judge as well, but he suffered from a lot of weird neurological
and he wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
And wrote a book about it, and that's where Alex Proyas got a lot of his ideas from. And this is just the weird opening sequence, the clock going to 12, and then it goes into the title of the film. Now, we'll just want to run down a couple of real quick things about the movie for those of you who haven't seen it. So, director Alex Proyas, this was his first full-length film after The Crow. And I did some reading. If he had been, while he was working on Crow, a lot of the stuff about this movie were rolling around in Proyas' head. And Brandon Lee, had he not died during The Crow, would have ended up in the role that Rufus Sewell had, which is a little bit
Interesting.
So Rufus Sewell as John Murdoch, the main character of the film. Kiefer Sutherland is Dr. Daniel Schreiber. Jennifer Connelly, the lovely Jennifer Connelly, as Emma. So fun fact. Actually, I'll save it. I'll save the fun fact. William Hurt as Inspector Frank Bumstead, which I think is an unfortunate name, and I think they could have done better. And you have a lot of the misters in this. I'm only going to talk about a couple of them.
Mr. Hand, Mr. Head, Mr.
You just insulted every Bumstead in the world right there.
That's right.
I don't think we have any in the chat tonight, so I apologize to all you Bumsteads out there. Please don't unsub from the channel. So Richard O'Brien, the part of Mr. Hand.
Shots fired. Damn, son.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. No.
Oh my god.
Hey, she is still very good to go.
She is a
Very,
lovely
very
lady.
much.
She is aged very well.
She's not milked out, is what you're saying.
So Richard O'Brien, the part of Mr. Hand, was written specifically for Richard O'Brien. Alex Proyas loved him from Rocky Horror. And he's like, yeah, this guy can do this, and wrote Mr. Hand for him. And then Ian Richardson as Mr. Book. I'm going to talk about the character of Mr. Book when we meet him. I have some questions. I have minor inconsistencies that I need to have rectified, and I'm sure someone can do that for me. Bruce Spence
the whole
is in
movie,
this
I
again.
giggled every time they referred to Mr. Hand, but
I'm sure that was someone's unfortunate high school nickname as well. Bruce Spence from the Mad Max 2, which we don't call it here in the States, we call it the Road Warrior, its proper name, and from the unfortunate Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, is also in this as Mr. Wall, which is a better name than Mr. Hand. It's a better name. I would rather be called Mr. Wall than Mr. Hand.
I think Mr. Bumstead was not a good name, though. You're right.
Bruce Spence.
I would rather be called Mr. Hand than Mr. Pink. I'm just saying.
That's true. Hey, here's the deal. I'll just be Mr. Hand. I'll be Mr. Hand. You're gonna be Mr. Pink.
So, by the way, there are a couple actors, Bruce Spence, Sewell, a couple others, who if this is Proyas' best film, these actors also appear in Proyas' worst film about 20 years later called Gods of Egypt.
Oh, I never watched
Oh,
that.
wow, that
Oh,
was
so
him
he
too?
made that.
Yeah.
Wow.
If
It's
you look at his
entertainingly
body
bad.
work
It's
afterwards,
it's
yeah.
entertainingly bad. I'll put it
Is
that way.
that the one
America
with
2001, welcome.
With Nicholas
You're included?
Walters, Soldier, the
Yeah,
Jamie
it's
Lannister.
Costa
Yeah.
Walder.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
And Gerard.
yeah,
Gerard Butler.
Okay,
Yeah.
that,
I will say
that movie wasn't horrible.
I'm not
Yes,
saying
it
it's
was.
horrible. It's
It was
fun bad.
dull. It was
Exactly,
dull.
that's what
Fun
I'm saying.
bad.
It was fun bad.
It was
Yeah,
dull.
yeah.
But
The actors knew it was bad, and they just went for it. Like when not to get sidetracked, but Gerard Butler going off the rails as Seth, that sort of thing. It's just, yeah. Anyway,
Lord, the opening scene of this opening sequence reminded me so much of The Crow.
Mm-hmm.
The camera just
Yeah,
going in
yeah.
the one shot into the window,
Yeah.
into the hotel, and then you're in the scene. I love the look of this movie. Man, it was just so fucking beautiful.
You're
there's that
absolutely right.
lavender. Is that
Yeah.
a lavender bath?
With purple water.
I was
like
about to
it.
ask that
Yeah.
too.
What do you mean you
Well-
don't take a lavender bath, Brian?
Not in that dirty tub.
No, not that dirty tub. No.
But notice
There you
the
go.
I was like,
parallel.
man,
Well, there may be naked
he's
men
great
involved,
for
though.
getting in that tub. Tetanus.
There may be
Notice the
naked men
parallels
involved, of course.
to the lighting and how everything looks like it's kind of like a
Mm.
proto 1940s
Mm-hmm.
kind of, but this is maybe the 70s,
It's
so it's all
kinda
dirty,
retro
like 20 years of
future,
grime on everything.
Yes.
But
retro
it-
futuristic noir.
right, retro futuristic. It really reminds me of The Matrix and that building
Oh,
they're
yeah.
in
Oh,
the
yeah.
beginning
Right.
sequence.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah, yeah.
lighting, everything.
Yep.
It's a great look.
And
He's got
I'm
the
just saying
crazy-
I'm just saying that tub when it has water in it, that is just DNA soup in there.
Oh Lord, yeah,
Oh,
that's
boy.
it's not good. So, interesting thing about this movie, I'll throw out a fun fact just to start. This movie was all on set,
Mm-hmm.
and which gave the actors really a very, they had a surreal sense of where they were all the time because it was never quite right. It was always very odd, and that was intentional from the director. He wanted them to feel always a little bit off on the set because of what's going on in the film. And if you've never seen the movie, one, why? And two, you'll get a good sense of it. Hopefully you hang in with us when we talk about this. Like The Matrix, reality is not what it seems. And that's the
You see, that's the
bare
kind of
bones premise.
that's the kind of bath that you come out dirtier than when you went in.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is Saucy Sasquatch. Welcome to the show.
zing, zing, ah.
Speaking of the movie's influences, by the way, so when Proyas put this together, he wasn't envisioning quite what we got. He was thinking of more of a 1940s detective movie type of thing.
Yep.
Right. And so eventually he got together with oh God, his name just dropped out of my head. He's the guy Goyer, David Goyer.
Yeah, who wrote The Crow? He was one of the writers
Yeah,
of The Crow,
yep.
and the sequel, which sucked, but that's not here.
David Goyer is a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft, and sadly, Lovecraft's own works have
That
never
is
been
fucked
adapted
up.
greatly, but this is one of the two best Lovecraftian movies ever, along with In the Mouth of Madness. If you want to know H.P. Lovecraft's concept
Yeah.
of
Mouth of
cosmic
Madness,
horror and science fiction horror,
Yeah.
this film is like perfect.
But
And-
I agree. And this is one of the things I like about this movie is that it's got a mixture of a blend of genres.
Yes.
Noir, science
Yeah.
fiction, fantasy, Lovecraft.
And
they're all,
Detective.
yeah,
to
it's
be
all
very-
in there. And it's a very difficult thing to weave all those into
Yeah.
a movie and not have it all just fall apart in bits.
Yeah.
To be
I was
very
gonna say, well-
specific, there were two creatures in Lovecraft's legendarium: the Migo, who were like kind of like insect species, but they would kidnap people from other planets and do experiments on them and make them like, obviously as we know from this movie. And then the great race of Yeth, who would literally download themselves into people's brains and live their lives. Like
Yes.
so. You
Zoinks.
can see very Lovecraftian influences if you know what they are in this film. I'm just highlighting the big ones. There's a lot of little ones too.
So
I
our
agree, by the
main
way.
character wakes. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say, I agree with Melvin earlier about Rufus Sewell. I've always liked that actor and always thought he should have been a bigger star.
Yes,
I do
Yep.
too.
I have
think he's great.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do you guys when I saw him, I was like, "Hey, ain't that Poe from the Star Wars movies?" Like, I thought he looked.
No.
I don't look the same to y'all. He looked the same to me. I was like, okay,
Close.
that
There's
guy's
a-
living like this guy should have had.
I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah. It's a
At a
similar.
cursory glance, they do kind of look similar. But
Yeah,
I got a question. What do you think Rufus Sewell's best role is?
Knight's Tale.
There's
Knight's
a
Tale
TV.
is good because he gets to play a good guy.
There's a
John
TV show
Smith.
called The 11th Hour from 2008.
Yeah, it's
It
good.
was kind of a non-science fiction version of the X-Files, is the best way to put it. Only ran one season, but I loved him in that.
Yeah. And obviously the man in the high castle, I can't think of anybody that was better for that role than him because he had
I loved him.
he had
in
a
that.
great mixture of humanity and obviously though he's representing an ultimate evil, but he still came across as human. And he the devotion to his family and his desire to protect them, even if it meant going all the way to the top in this evil regime, if that's what it took, you know.
They screwed that character, in my opinion, Brian, because the writing went off the rails in the later season. It went like way the fuck off the
because
rails.
because the book
he
stops
did
at a
shit.
certain point, and
he did shit he never would have done. That character was on a certain path, and that path, there was a redemption arc for John Smith that should have happened that didn't happen. That's my opinion. That's a whole different fucking thing.
I agree.
But
And there's
neither here nor there.
But there's another great series called The Pillars of the Earth.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that, he's brilliant in that as well. Very sympathetic character.
Do you think that another actor like Brandon Lee could have played this role better?
Whoops, sorry about that.
I was thinking of the actor from Gladiator, the evil emperor kid.
Joaquin Phoenix?
Oh, yeah, okay.
I could have thought of
him doing
Joaquin
that.
Phoenix in this role. His line delivery it reminded, because I'm like, who the fuck is that? I'm like, oh, it's Joaquin Phoenix. But this was obviously, well before that. But his American accent, because Rufus Sewell is British. If you don't know who the actor is,
He is.
So
By
anyways,
God, he's English, you know.
So he wakes up and he has no fucking idea what's going on right now. He had the blood on his head. It wasn't his blood. He puts some clothes on. He stumbles out of the bathroom. He breaks the fish bowl and he drops the fish. And he picks it up and puts it into the bathtub. And we see this
He
fucking
kills it instantly.
Go back.
right. Instantly killing it in that fucked up water.
Roman,
Man.
Roman, go back one
Yes.
panel. So notice how the fish is an entirely different color palette from anything else you see in or near from scenes before.
Right.
Nice.
Pay attention to that sort of thing throughout this movie.
Mm.
I see.
This movie had a very definite color palette.
And then
It's
next,
also interesting that he started off in the water as well, because as we find out later in the movie, the water is something that these guys do not like at all. So it's
So the first thing he does is he tries to kill a Jinja. That's the first thing he does.
So it's confirmed he works
and then
for Disney.
he picks up his strange sexual device that he found lying on.
Yeah, this thing, you don't know what it is. The camera just pans onto it for a second. You have no idea what the fuck this weird,
Strange sex toy.
peculiar thing is. And then he's trying to kill the Jinja once again by putting it in the bathtub water.
Which at this point is clear.
Yes,
Right?
it is clear now.
Yes,
yeah. That's right.
But,
And then in later scenes, it's clear. It's so weird.
But that's a
Well, they didn't
good
want to
point.
show Rufus Sewell's little seahorse in the water, so that's probably why it was cloudy.
Little Rufus, yes.
So he's rummaging through the room now, just finding different this and that. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Our first
He's
mention of
clearly
Shelby's.
disoriented, and he has a little memory. Ooh, that's me on Sunday mornings, by the way.
That's me. That's me after work.
That whole thing with that card and chasing that memory and trying to unlock that thing. Yeah, that was I think that a lot of people, I know I did, kind of find that profound, is that you're trying to kind of maybe find your way out of whatever reality you're in to kind of get to the truth. And I think this movie has a lot of those kind of internal messaging
Oh God, yes.
for that kind of stuff.
Trying to get out of the rat race.
Yeah,
or whatever,
go up the
find your
maze.
true self, or there's something else out there, but you just can't,
Can't get to
Just
it.
beyond
Yeah.
your reach.
Yep.
Much like Mr. Hand. Come on, that was kind of. It wasn't great. It wasn't my best. I'm not proud of that.
It's gonna get
Phone
weird.
rings.
It's
There you
gonna
go.
get
There you
weird,
go.
folks.
Now, for all the young people in the crowd, that's a rotary phone.
Yes.
Yes.
And I actually used one of those devices when I was a
We
young
grew
man.
up
They
with
still
those.
existed.
Yes.
I've
That's a
actually made a
landline
phone
phone.
call on a phone just like that. I mean, it was
I have
old.
as well.
When,
My
when I
grandparents
did
had a phone
it,
like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things about this movie. There are a myriad of time of decades that are kind
Time
of shoved together
specific.
awkwardly.
Yeah.
Smorgasbord.
There was a word
Yeah.
that I looked up that described that. It's called anachronistic.
Anachronistic.
Yeah,
Anachronistic.
anachronistic.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
And then
Yeah, I've never heard of that word.
they
I've been in
add
Japan too long.
words to it like
Yeah.
steampunk or
Right.
atomic futurism.
Cyberpunk.
I wonder what the
Yeah.
Japanese word
Lovecraftian.
for it is. I wonder what the Japanese word would be.
The Japanese word for it is mechukucha.
Well, there you go.
No, I'm just
Oddly
joking. I don't
enough,
know
it's
what it is.
also anachronistic.
Anachronistic.
So he gets a call from Dr. Schreiber, and Dr. Schreiber's telling him, "Hey, dude, I know you don't know what the fuck's going on. I can help you. There are people coming for you. Get the fuck out of the room." All right. And as he's talking to him, notice the big. He gets the realtor eyes here.
Yeah.
And he's looking across, and he's like, "What the devil?" And yes, I did cover up nipple in this. There, so in case
Oops.
the
Oh,
nipples have been
boo,
covered, there
boo.
are no nipples. to be seen.
Oops.
I apologize for those of you who love nipples, as I do. However,
To
my
me,
mind barely
hers
hanging on
looked
it,
a
and
little
she looks
deflated, if I'm going to be honest.
No,
She's a member
She
of-
is
body on the
laying
floor.
down.
She's
you
in the
know.
member of the Dead Boob Society. That's
She
an in
is.
joke for me and Darius Munchausen. The Dead Boob
Oh
Society.
my! She's got these peculiar spirals carved into her torso. And Rufus is like, and Mr. Murdoch, who doesn't even know who the fuck he is at this point, is like, okay, I better go now.
Leave.
Oh,
Yeah.
bloody knife. That's never good. And here we meet the strangers.
I love
And-
it. I mean, so much
My
in the
God.
first few minutes. It's so
Yeah,
much
yeah,
good
there-
stuff.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
That design is it's simple, but it's so good. Just
Mm.
the just the it's just the silhouette alone just lets you know, okay, danger's coming.
There
And the framing of the shots is
Mhm.
beautiful. It is just so well, much like The Crow. We discussed that maybe a month ago. The way Alex Proyas frames his shots and everything, but that latter movie, he knows what works with the eye and mind. You see these scenes, and it hits you almost, viscerally. Everything touches you in a certain Mr. Hand, in a certain way.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Thank you. That was better. I think that was better than my last
That
one.
was
What's up, Zach?
You're all-
You deserve that one.
Yeah.
The cinematographer seems pretty good, whoever he is.
Okay,
Looking him
and
up. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that little kid freaked me the fuck out.
Dude, I wanted him to die
Mr.
immediately
Sweet.
when I saw that creepy little dude. I was like, he
Mr.
needs to be football punted all the way out of
So,
here.
fun fact about the midgets: it was actually twins. It was a boy and a girl. It was brother and sister who played the weird little kid one.
Really?
So we go through.
They
and
needed
the
to be
clock is
hunted.
that thing was fucking horrible. Zach's out here. Zach, welcome to the show.
That was X.
You are. I think Zach is on travel right now. It's good for you to join us, my friend. I do appreciate it.
And his shoulders.
They are. The shoulders are still at home, oddly. So
Okay.
Mr. Murdoch, again, we don't know what his name is. I think actually the doctor may have said it on the phone. Is going through the lot. People are asleep, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it's not
This is
supposed
the
to
lovely
seem
hotel
that.
keep. I actually, when I first saw the guy, I thought it was Gideon from The Crow, but it wasn't. I think he would have been a good one for this part, but it's not him.
Mhm.
So the clock strikes midnight again, and everybody suddenly wakes up. And he's like, "Hey, you only paid me for 3 weeks, and that ended 10 minutes ago."
You gotta pay.
And cash on the barrel. And I'm sorry, he did. Fuck, I missed it. He does show him his name in the ledger, and it says all it says is J. Murdoch.
Jay
So he
Murdoch.
doesn't know
Right.
his first name. He only knows J and Murdoch.
Mm.
So he's wandering around in this creepy fucking cityscape. He chucks the bag because he's like, "Fuck this," and now we're back in his room with the strange pale gentleman.
With the creepy
Fuck.
Mr. Hand.
That is it is a gorgeous look though, because man, that
Yep.
gives you the fucking gibblies.
Yeah, apparently the DP that did this is pretty well known. I think. I mean, I don't
By
know
the
the
way,
names
guys-
of those guys. He's done a lot of good stuff.
There must have been a line item in this movie's budget for overcoats, just for the amount of overcoats that they used.
Oh,
Yeah, is that
Overcoats.
real fur? Is that real mink? I wonder.
Well, I
Got
was reading up on things, and they said that they were on a very limited budget, so they had to make things look like they were expensive by using like canvas stretched on metal or
Yes!
supplies that made it look like it was
What?
expensive. But it wasn't. Yeah.
Wait,
Well, if they didn't spend
what?
20% of the budget on
What?
overcoats.
Wait. You mean a studio actually held to a budget? No.
Well, you
And
see,
even then,
you see, Joker voice. Back in those days, they didn't have the sweet ESG money they got now.
Exactly.
Blackfire was around to just
See,
funnel it all in
that's
there.
true, because if it made it with ESG money, Mr. Hand would now be Mr. Handicap. And you know,
Can we get a rip shot there? There we go.
Right.
oh my.
Perfect.
So
Love my stream deck.
now Mr. Hand speaks, and we don't get tons of lines. He's like, Mr. Murdoch, yes. You'll tell us where he is, yes. He just is his peculiar speech pattern. They all kind of say it, but Mr. Hand is the only one who speaks the most. And there's that. You see that motherfucking little weirdo down there in between.
The little demon child that needs to have
Yeah.
his face punted.
Zoinks. Yes,
Now,
creepy.
okay.
Yeah,
So now the guy in the center
Yeah.
of the thing. I have seen him in other films, mostly the vampire films. He was in Queen of the Damned. He was one of the elders, and I was dating a girl at the time, and she dragged me to one of the Twilight films, and he is.
No.
And he is.
It's okay. You would see by yourself. It's okay.
Yeah, man. You
No
don't have to
judgments
give
here.
an
No
excuse.
judgments here.
I've heard that
No,
explained
no.
many times.
No.
So,
No.
so you're saying that this guy is kind of typecast to play like
You're talking about Bruce Spence.
I believe
Bruce
that's
was on the left there, wasn't he?
Bruce Spence was in a lot of stuff. You've seen him all over the place.
Oh,
Well,
he
he's
was
very recognizable by
he
his
was
teeth.
the
He's a-
mouth of Sauron, right?
He's the
Yes,
helicopter.
He was in
Ah.
Sauron.
Okay, that's
He was in
Okay.
Star Wars Episode 3 as
he's
he's
a
Keanu
gyrocopter
Don.
guy.
Yes.
Gyrocopter, yeah.
Uh,
Gyrocopter
the Road
captain.
Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, the gyro captain. And then Mr. Hand
And
does his
Star
cool.
Wars.
he was also in Gods of Egypt. You know,
Oh, was he? That's
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bruce Spence.
No one's perfect.
He deserved better than that.
see.
So
Nas
he-
understands.
He does the sleep trick. He falls to the floor, and then we meet.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Now, fun fact. So
Hello.
this was the fun fact I was going to bring up, and I saved until this moment. In the film, they overdubbed her voice with some other broad singing.
Mhm.
In the director's cut, you get Jennifer Connelly singing.
How is it?
How's
And
she
your
sound?
verdict is?
Sounds great.
It's not terrible. It ain't great.
Yeah.
It ain't great.
Not terrible.
You know what she sounds like? She sounds like someone who sings in stage theater
Okay.
and then tries to sing in regular songs. It doesn't generally translate. Sometimes it does. You can usually tell though, and it's not terrible though. Quite frankly, I think it works better
I
in the
think-
film having her voice.
Yeah, well, I think a good part of that as well is everything kind of seems off with the whole setting and everything, and so her voice not being like this extremely
Mhm.
perfect, it kind of works in
Yeah.
that sense to me.
Yes,
Yeah, I haven't seen the other version. I've only seen the director's cut version. So,
Didn't
Okay.
she sing in Labyrinth?
No.
Did she sing the song about the baby or something?
No, that
Wanted
was
to get
David
kidnapped by
Bowie.
the
No.
goblins. Oh,
Just
no, the
now,
girl in Labyrinth. I don't know who the
Yeah.
girl in Labyrinth. Mrs. of the Empire could tell you. I wish she was watching right now so she could chime in, but she's obviously not. I think last week may have been too much for her.
because it was Jennifer Connelly that was the girl.
Right.
yeah, I don't
Labyrinth,
think she
yeah.
had any singing parts in that movie though.
Nope. She did
No,
not.
not at all. Yeah.
Guarantee it. Now,
Yeah.
I love
now-
the band
now-
in this as well.
Right. So on I believe it was on here when we talked about the shadow, and then I was on with Jacob Ironside, and we talked about the Rocketeer. I love this look. This 20s club setting with the singer in the band in the back, the mic stand, all of that is just gorgeous.
And
Agreed.
look
And
at
if
the
these
use
fellas-
of color again with her
Yeah.
green
Oh
dress.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, to make the thing stand out in the otherwise drab world.
And she stands out.
And if
Yep.
these fellas weren't real musicians, by God, they certainly moved like them.
Mhm.
I mean, this looks like an oil painting, the way it's framed. I love the look of this so much. And then she leaves the stage, and one of the gals in the club, she's like, "Hey, Emma, your husband's doctor was by, and he wanted to have this card."
How's that
And so she
again?
gets the card. I don't want to do it again. Here, actually, Stephen Ransom has in Labyrinth, she sang as much as Rex Harrison does ever. Okay, I don't know what that means.
That
And I'm a
means
little
she
confused right
did not sing.
Didn't fucking sing. So she goes to the doc's office, and again, these lovely, just long shots, and the weird Art Deco, combined with just other the mesh
Has
the mesh of
Gotham vibe
styling.
too.
It has that Gotham vibes. It also has
Agreed.
the Time Bureau from Loki kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
I
bring
hate
that shit
that
up.
show. Don't bring that show up. Don't
The only thing I like about the show is the aesthetics
Production
of the Time
design.
Bureau.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
The only good thing about that show is Tara Strong.
So
I
this
said it.
actually looks a lot like that 70s Rockfan from behind, which is a little bit weird now that I know it.
Well, that does look like my bathroom. That's true.
Yeah, I'm not going to your house. That's
Oh my.
Yeah, I don't know. That looks like
It's just
he's House Slytherin or something.
Yeah, there's a little too much light in it for my bathroom.
nothing wrong with that.
So Dr. Schreiber has a very interesting way of speaking. Very, very
He's the
short, curt manner.
Yeah, sibilant.
It's peculiar. And he's got he's got his experiment going on with the rat in the maze. Ha ha ha. And she's like, I didn't know my husband had a doctor. And he basically tells her, yeah, he's been seeing me for a while. He's really fucked up right now. And if you see him, you fucking need to send him to me. That's the nutshell version of it. But again, the look. I can't get past that enough. So at this point, poor Mr. Murdoch is walking around. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Again, this looks like an oil painting. It's just amazing to me. Yes, her husband had not seen this movie. We were talking on Twitter. They should do Batman like this. Man, you know what? Yes, the look. Fuck yeah, 100% right. So he's walking past the window and he's doing different things. He's like, "Hi, I'm Jason Murdoch. Hi, I'm Jay Murdoch. John Murdoch. Jelly Belly Murdoch." He's going through all the names. There's like some dude watching him. He's like,
I need to point out that they did do Batman like this. Remember David Goyer on Nolan's Batman trilogy? Had a very similar look.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It's funny. My son and I just got through. Actually, we still may be watching The Dark Knight Rises, and we decided that we thought Batman Begins was the weakest of the three, but we've decided that actually The Dark Knight Rises is the weakest of the three. We both agree that Dark Knight is the best, but we were waffling back and forth on which one was the weakest. And we can discuss that another day, because I actually would want to do a show on our favorite Batman movies in a few weeks, and we can talk about all that stuff. So we shift from him having his conversation, his internal monologue about what his fucking name is, to inside an apartment. There's a metronome, a picture of some gal, and a gentleman playing an accordion. Not Mr. Hand, by the way.
Which is the most evil. It's the most evil thing in the film. Someone playing an accordion.
Right?
Talk about evil.
Yeah, was the accordion making any music though? I don't remember it.
Well,
okay, it was
actually
right.
to call it music. It's an accordion.
Fair.
It was making noises.
Fair.
It's a lovely instrument, though. The phone rings. He gets the look that I get when the phone rings, because why is the fucking phone ringing?
And now a classy actor turns up.
William Hurt did such a so. Did we? I don't know if we discussed the original concept of this film. Actually, no, you mentioned it, Matt. this was supposed to be from the detective's perspective.
Yeah.
Originally,
Oh,
that was the concept that Alex Proyas had. That the detective was slowly going mad over a case where the facts never lined up properly,
Yes.
and then it shifted to
Changing,
the perspective of the the person he's pursuing. That would have been a weird angle. I actually like it better as is.
I
Obviously,
do
but
think
yeah.
they managed to
Same.
retain a lot of his perspective in the finished film, though, which is nice. There's a lot of
Yes,
him.
because
in-
he knew
yeah.
something was fucking not
yeah.
right.
Well,
And
yeah,
he
the
had like
original-
a sixth sense, like this just isn't adding up. I know he's crazy, but for some reason he's making sense.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, Proyas' original concept wasn't a science fiction film; it was a detective noir film.
Yes.
Right.
That more
Makes
Which
sense.
we need a. It's been a while since we had a good one of those. We need a really good one.
detective film.
Yeah, like a detective
noir
noir kind of
detective
film,
thing,
like a City Confidential or something, or LA
Oh, I
Confidential.
love
Like
City
Confidential, yeah.
Yeah, like how
Or
good
LA,
that
yeah.
was. That was such an amazing film. We just need something good like that.
I want
No, they
something
did
like
a,
I want the
a
game
film-
LA Noir made into a movie. I want LA Noir as a movie.
I know that game. I know what he's talking about. I get that
Yeah.
reference.
I want
Didn't someone in this
um,
movie have to do with LA Confidential? The names are popping in my head. I can't.
I can't help you with that one though.
can't remember.
So he gets a scene. There's been another one, meaning there's been another murder, and they're calling Detective Bumstead, horrible name, in. We shift back to the hotel. This is the hotel clerk. Suddenly, it's not. It's not a Netflix remake. This is something that happens in film. Come on, that was all right. I thought that was okay.
It was all right. It was all right. It was all right.
But he's
Okay.
his. I mean, his lines and his memories are the same as the gentleman who were at the desk. He's like, and I told him it's cash on the barrelhead. Exactly repeated.
And yet there's no barrelhead to be seen anywhere.
I don't know the barrelhead.
Exactly.
So
You
then we
know?
get the John Murdoch, the J Murdoch, in the ledger and his room number. And that's there's a bit of trivia regarding the John 6:14. It's a Bible verse as well, but I don't remember what it is because I'm not that clever. So this was originally another detective's case. And
Hey, Roman,
go ahead. Yeah.
somebody wants to say hi.
Oh, beautiful dog. Wow.
Hello.
Wait a minute.
Hey.
Hang on. Hold the show.
Supper.
We need to pause everything for a second because I am a sucker for. Oh my goodness gracious! Come on, blow it up! Blow it up! Oh, hello! Oh, that is so cute. Is that a chocolate lab?
No, she's a mutt. She's my roommate's brand new dog. Her name is Xena.
Oh, warrior princess indeed. Oh, she's so cute.
Beautiful.
That's a cute. You're so cute.
See,
I
would
love
do
the
that
little
with-
white on her chin.
Oh, so cute.
Now,
I would do that with Pippin, but he would
Puppy.
eat my desk at this point.
All right, time to go. Time to go. Mwah.
Puppy.
Be right back.
Go play. Go play, guys. Go play.
So what
Wait a
I'd
minute.
like to say, Roman, about this William Hurt's detective is that
There we go.
maybe it's his first day on the job. How, knowing what we know
No,
about
exactly.
the movie later, maybe he wasn't a detective until now.
Nope. We have no idea how long any of these people have been.
He
Any of
thinks
these
he's a
people.
detective. But he has the memories of a detective.
Yeah.
So his one of the other detective who had it previously, in in the minds of all these people anyway, went bonkers, and they've handed the case over to Detective Bumstead. This is John Murdoch on the street looking at his fingerprints, which are just spirals, which is weird. He's like, that's weird. Oh, I hear the dog.
If you want, I in the my comment section, I put the verse, the John 6:14
In
in
did
the
you where
comment
did you put
section.
it? In our comment section?
No, not in the private chat.
Oh, let me see.
You
Okay,
can
so
In the actual comments, the chat, actual
Yes.
chat. Yeah.
oh, it's in the chat. Oh, in your chat, in the other chat. I'm sorry. I'm
The
new at this,
chat.
folks. I've only been here for a very short time. Please forgive me.
Then those men.
So
There's the color.
when
There's the bit of
when
color
Murdoch
again. Right.
left the hotel, they said his wallet was at the automat, and that's where if you know what an automat is. You go, you put your money into a coin thing, and there's food in the window, and you take it out.
Food is
that's
putting it
real?
a bit strongly.
Okay. Wow.
No, so the original automats were basically a restaurant where they cooked real food fresh, and then they put it in these little shelves, and then you put money in and opened the door and pulled it out. So it'd be like hot soup, a sandwich. You could get like turkey dinners, all that stuff. The original ones, like back in the 20s and 30s.
Sounds like a good idea.
There was one in Akron, Ohio that closed in the 70s. So I actually got to go in there and eat at one, like right before it closed. And it's basically diner food, but you just had a big selection. This one had like a rotating thing for the pies. So you just hit a thing and it would turn, and you put in your money and then open it up. But obviously now things are so expensive. If they had one, you need like
your credit card.
Yeah, a credit card or something, because you basically that was the last time you could use change to like open the stuff without needing like 4 rolls of quarters.
So Mando found the verse here. I'll just John 6:14. After the people saw the sign Jesus performed, they began to say, "Surely this is the prophet who is to come into the world." So I don't think that's by mistake at all. I'd be very surprised. I don't think there are a lot of mistakes in this film. So he meets a prostitute outside the diner, because that's where you meet prostitutes.
She's the prophet.
Oh my.
Yeah, see how this dude is like in the back, just like putting food in there. So
the trick is to find the one he isn't spatting.
Right. Yeah, none of this food is prepackaged. It's all fresh made.
Yeah.
And then they just pop it in there.
When I was a kid, I went down to AC, that's Atlantic City, for those who don't live in Jersey. And I remember they had stuff like this down there still.
Fascinating. I have never been to one myself. That's
vaguely I might remember seeing something like this as a kid, but I can't remember where.
Yeah, usually it was in a big city.
In Europe somewhere. Yeah.
And so he puts his wallet in there. Of course, he doesn't just open the window for him like a nice guy would do. And then we get a glimpse of John has something going on with his voodoo powers.
Special.
So a couple cops come in. Dude's trying to get out of here. He's like, "Fuck, I need to get out of here."
And is he eating his wallet right now?
He's not. Oddly enough,
Because he
not.
got it out
Although
of the
it's probably
automat.
the same quality of meat that is in the automat. So we get this weird look like Misses of the Empire. It gives me sometimes, and the window.
Whoa. Okay, to say Rufus Sewell gives a weird look, isn't that kind of standard?
Excellent point. My bad.
I see it now.
You got the eyes.
And so window breaks, wallet's there, grabs the wallet, and the cops try to stop him on the way out. And these guys are kind of dicks. They're more dickish than like
truncheon.
Like it's like, "Hey, what you up to? Where you going?" "Going home." "And where's that?" "None of your fucking business, dickhead. That's where.
It's at home. That's where it is.
Then he gets saved by the prostitute. That doesn't happen often enough in film.
Right?
Common story.
Just saying.
Again, lovely overcoats. And so the prostitute now thinks they got like a thing going down.
Right?
I guess that's how.
She's like, "You owe me now."
She's got a heart of gold.
They all do. They all do.
They all do. And she specially likes him.
She is working her way through college.
And she,
the only fans of her day.
She thinks of him differently from just a client.
Right.
So we're back in the room with the cops and the dead other hooker.
And thinking about it, with the way the aliens have this set up, that's like one of the creepiest things. Like in one life, you could be like a scientist, and then the next night you're a prostitute.
Yeah.
I would be thinking at this point, would somebody switch a light on, please, so we can see what we
Right?
do?
The whole movie. I'm like, can we just like
Can we just put the light on somebody? There must be a light in here. Come on.
They really don't like light. Okay.
Hey, we have a couple more folks with us. We have Nadia. We have Copa. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Yeah, what's up, Copa?
Hope everything is going all right at the Catania household this evening.
So the thing about
and Pops,
the perpetual kind of how dark everything is to me, it's almost just like a character in the movie. That pervasive darkness.
I don't disagree. Yeah, well, that is. I mean, this city never sees daylight. It's always dark. I mean, hence the name Dark City. But the residents never notice, and they have like no concept of time, which is really just very strange.
And
I thought it was. Go ahead.
It takes a while as a viewer to figure that out as well.
Right. But I was going to say that was also why they didn't show any children that were awake, because that's something kids might ask. Like if they were left long enough alone, they would ask those questions that Murdoch's asking. So it was weird that I only saw 2 kids in the entire movie that weren't Mr. Sleep, and they were both sleep, and then they got injected with new memories.
Yeah, you don't see a ton.
That's
I mean,
right.
there's one more kid in the film, and we haven't seen the kid. Who is the weird little freaky kid? So this is like the 6th murder as well, just for those of you. And now we're back, and it's the broken fishbowl. And Bumstead, for some reason, realizes it's the broken fishbowl and falls back to the tub. Which I don't know, whatever. And there, the ginger fish is
like
still
that young
alive.
detective.
So
Just
now
like,
he's gonna interrogate
In clear
the fish
water.
now.
In clear.
yes.
Who put you in there?
And ask what kind of person kills, what kind of serial killer saves the fish, basically.
But is that fish called Wanda?
And it's been nice having Matt with us tonight, folks. But
He'll be here some other time.
so while they're looking at the fish, the other detective, the crazy one, blunders his way up there, and he's like, "They're watching! They're watching!"
But is he crazy?
They're coming.
It's all perspective. Yeah, he's trying to warn them.
He's doing the invasion of the body snatchers. They're coming.
Yes.
He's the original lizard chick on the plane. These
Not real.
Motherfuckers.
He'll be making an apology video soon.
I'm sorry, everyone.
I'm not sure he's going to be making anything soon.
Well,
after
not after a couple scenes. There's not much to make with. So he goes crazy, and the young guy who fishes the fish out of the bathtub asks, "Who's that?" And he tells him that's whatever the other detective's name is. And there's the fish. Look at him; he looks all proud of himself, and he's like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Like, you're bringing the fish? Like, is that your new pet? Like, what the heck?
Nice job, you saved the fish.
There's not even enough there for a snack. Never mind a meal.
I know.
Walensky. Walensky's the other detective.
And the William Hurt has a very cool hat.
It is. That is. Yeah. His fedora is phenomenal, and it matches his coat. Good style. Everything's dark. But that's
He looks the part.
Detective Walensky was the previous detective, and you go into his office, and this looks like my son's room, except cleaner and more well organized. He's like, "What did I do to deserve this? I'm being punished for this."
And less dead animals lying around.
Squirrels, less squirrels.
So
there it is.
it's kind of like Mulder's office. There's fucking shit everywhere. Lines going here, lines going there. He was trying to connect things, but his brain just couldn't do it.
Which implies he's been doing the detective job for a while, regardless of the memories being shifted around, because he's done that work.
Yes, and the strangers are not going to help them with this, and that's what this would have done. And this is they get the fingerprint from the murder weapon, and Detective Bumstead's like, "You're kidding me, right?"
Wait a minute, they're not all circular. They should be circular, all of them.
And so the lovely Emma wanders in. She wants to file a missing persons. And he's like, "Go to the front desk." And she's like, they told me to come see you. And he's like, "Why?"
Detective, like, there's a milker here.
My husband's missing. His name is John Murdoch. And he's like, "Oh, fuck." I don't know how old she was here. She was like super young though, early 20s. I would guess.
She was a teen in Labyrinth, and this was 10 years later.
Well,
so
she's
98.
She's 2 years older than I am, so
she's not 98. She's younger than that.
20.
What in the
What the
dickens
hell
was
was
that?
That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
That was
I
me.
didn't click anything.
She's like 25 or 26 here, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, really? Wow.
Because she's 2
So
years
there-
older than me. So I would have been 24, I think, when this movie came out.
Was that the ramen bus there?
I would have been
I've
27.
got the high,
I
like
was
the
6.
road is right next to my house, like
Boosh.
right outside. And I had
Oh.
2 gigantic trucks going past each other, honking horns.
Oh,
So,
they were just saying.
yeah.
Okay.
The horns were speaking in Japanese, by the way, too. So
Oh,
Okay.
that's what it sounds like there. That's why I didn't recognize it.
I was
Um,
25.
Yeah, of course, of
25
course.
I was 25 when I went to see this at the cinema. 25.
Wow.
98.
Yeah.
98. I was 27.
I was not. Again,
I
I was not.
Wait a minute.
20.
I'm
so
lying.
old.
Sorry, I was 35.
Well, there's a difference.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Let's give or
You
take
see,
10
nobody
years.
contradicted me, and I got away with it. But I have to tell the truth.
Yeah, I was doing my math there. It wasn't working out.
They're younger, and I'm senile. So, so Jennifer Connelly and Detective Bumstead are having a conversation. He's like, "How long have you been married?" Because she keeps fucking with her wedding ring. And he's like, and she's like, 4 years. Why? And he's like, because you seem uncomfortable with your ring. She's like, I never take it off. And he's like, whatever.
Strictly speaking, that's true.
They all say.
And so he
So
shows her this list, and he's like, "You familiar with any of these?" She's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, murder investigation." He's like, "Which one?" He's like, "All of them." Oh, fuck. So uncomfortable, and now she's like, "Fuck, I may have messed up here," and she's like, "I don't want to go."
I seem to talk too much.
Yeah, I said, "Fuck."
I have let slip a little too much information.
Back with the prostitute. So she has a tattoo as well, which I think is interesting. I don't know if she always has the tattoo or if she just in prostitute form has the tattoo. I don't know. So he's like, that's an interesting tattoo on the prostitute. And he's just kind of hanging out in the room. Then he finds a bear. He's like, uh-oh.
Weird.
And, while she's getting undressed, it's just kind of there. She's just talking. And she's like, what's your name? And
John.
he looks in his wallet and he finds his ID and it says John. He's like, ha, funny. And she's like, oh, that's appropriate. Ah! And then he sees a picture of Jennifer Connelly in there. He's like, oh, I clearly have a wife. And while he's doing this, he hears a noise and John, here's the John reference, where he looks just like Obergruppenführer John Smith, which is interesting.
Spooky.
And then there's a kid in the room and he's like, oh, Lord.
Ah.
And that kills the mood. And John smiles. And he's like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Well played,
Very good,
Bob.
Bob. First
No,
person
no,
to
no.
say
That
it, Bob.
prostitute actually had
Well done, Bob.
emotions in her face.
Well done, Pops. Well
Well,
done.
guys, was she a prostitute the night before?
No,
She had
nobody
to
She
knows.
may have been. She may have been the first person to get a role play as a prostitute, but by acting like a prostitute. But
No, with
And
the
she
memory.
doesn't swear here. You think she's going to say
Yes, I
"oh
don't-
shit" and she says "oh shoot," but as one of
oh
the
gosh darn it!
yeah, there's no swearing in the movie.
The strangers
Just
don't
again.
care about their lives, so she could have been a normal mother with a
Subtle,
husband.
are you out, Subtle? Is this a greetings? I think you were here before. You are here. No, are you leaving? Are you leaving? Are you leaving? Are you leaving?
Yeah,
What are you doing, Subtle? Explain yourself. That's a bad frame, and I'm sorry about that. That's just-
We've all been there. We've all been there.
That's no-face.
That was amazing.
when you're clicking
Best.
away, sometimes you
Some of
click on
the
the wrong
best
spot,
non-sex
and,
he's ever had in his life.
So again, Shell Beach comes up, from the memory, the vague thing, and there's a big sign for Shell Beach. And I don't know what compels him to want to go up here, but he does. I thought that was a little bit weird, but okay.
I always thought it was a like a childhood memory or something that he was always trying to go back to. It was like
I
something.
didn't understand the sign though, Shieldwall. I understand why he
Climbing
wanted
the
to go up.
sign.
Because
He
the
kicks his
sign
leg-
always reminds him of it whenever he sees it, and it like leaks through their conditioning or whatever it is that they're doing. It's like that thread that he can pull on every time.
That's his MK Ultra trigger.
Well, do you remember?
Something like that. Kind of like how yeah,
Do you
that
remember? I want to say, do you remember the montage at the end when he got the full memory upload?
Yes.
A lot of them
Yeah.
were a lot of them were related with ocean, the sea, you know.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I mean. I just couldn't articulate it
Yeah.
correctly.
I know why
And
he
the
goes
big-
up there, Roman. It's because
Oh
it's in
yeah,
the
you got your
script. It's in
hands
the
on it right
script.
now.
Well,
It's in the
also look
script.
at that.
It's in the
look
script,
at
yes,
the,
that's why I went
look at the sign. That looks like a
Don't
look
think
around.
about it too
Everything
much.
else is like a dark, dingy crap hole.
Yeah.
That place actually looks like some place you'd want to be.
Pretty sure it's a high point. He's trying to see over the city and find the beach. You know,
Could
that's
be.
actually a good point. It's as good as anything that we've come up with, which wasn't very much. So, for the sake of
The
comments,
two
I'll
brain
accept
cells
this.
amongst us all couldn't come up with it.
So this big arm on the gal that looks oddly like the prostitute is waving up and down. And the arm has motion, much like Mr. Hand.
Yo, was
and
she
the leering
was she
summer
the
time,
model
like
the
that.
night before for the sign? Oh,
There's a killer on the loose again.
So he's going through his pockets again, Mr. Hand, and he finds all these articles about this serial killer who's killing hookers. And he's like,
Ladies
"God,
of the
am I a serial
night.
killer who's
When
killing
I'm
hookers?"
killing hookers.
Lady in red.
Sorry.
That was a Doobie Brothers
It's
song
me?
from 1973. When I'm killing hookers.
Hookers.
So
Oh,
he's sitting
it's a
here
great
on the
banjo
floor.
solo in it.
Ling, 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 ling.
Wow.
So he's sitting here all dismayed, much like Ego is right now. And out come the strangers
Mm.
and Mr. Hand. He's like, we caught up with you basically. He gave us a good chase. And just so cool looking. And he's like, whoa, there, weird bald man. What the fuck do you want? Cajun Corey. I walk in and we're talking about hookers.
Nice coat,
It's not
nice
that
hat.
much different than any other show that we do, Corey. I mean, let's face it, you know. So he knows immediately, instinctively, they're not friends. And he does the thing. He's trying to make him sleep. And John's like, okay,
What are you doing?
What do you want?
Like,
from
why
me?
are you waving
Jedi
your
mind
hand?
trick.
Okay, you're
What do you think
lovely.
you're doing? You waving your hand. What do you think it was a Jedi?
Nice.
Get me out of here.
And thank God he didn't speak in Watto's voice. That would have completely derailed the film. So he makes a move, and I got about another bad screenshot there. Falls through the floor, and John's they call it tuning, is what the
Like you do with your guitar.
Tuna.
Yeah.
Tuna.
yes, whatever
Like
the
the fish.
telepathic power they have is. So he makes the floor kind of collapse under them. It's falling apart.
He can tune.
Yeah.
Can he
They're like,
auto tune
oh,
though?
fuck.
Can he auto tune?
Ooh.
nice.
And
I
I'm
guess he
going
can.
to kill these weird bald guys. And they all start falling.
Good shadows.
And he's not doing a good job with. I mean, he's kind of floundering. He's just fucking. He does because he's not controlling the power. He doesn't even realize he's doing it.
Right.
And
And that
there
little
he is.
evil
Ah!
crab, like, and he
Roundhouse
needs
him.
to be punted off the side of the cliff. Ooh.
I have a question
That's an
about
evil
like,
short
why-
round.
Somebody mentioned in the comments earlier that these guys look like Jack the Ripper, and I think it's kind of fitting that they use
Well-
knives to off people.
If you want, here's some food
Yes.
for thought, guys.
Yeah.
So there were 6 prostitutes, I believe, that they mentioned being murdered.
Yes.
His
correct.
name is John Murdoch, John the Murderer, Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
Ah,
I think there's some correlation there.
Wow. And that's why Matt knows all the things.
We
That's
have
that's nice putting together.
we have mentioned because for the sake of the comments is asking about Riffraff. Yes, we have mentioned Richard O'Brien
Yes.
as Mr. Hand, the wonderful Riffraff, and writer of all those great songs.
And that's why Alex Proyas wrote that part very specifically for him. So this kid fucking freaks everybody out and has nightmares about. Okay, nice job.
See, you could have avoided falling through those planks if you'd just done a jump to the left and then a step to the right.
Oh God damn it, Brian. That was unnecessary, uncalled for. And
It's an
So-
infraction. That was an infraction.
yes, a minor infraction, but an infraction nonetheless. So this poor fella's backing up here, and our hero John is again not fully focusing, but he's instinctively
He's out of
losing his
tune.
powers, and he causes
out of
the
tune.
mechanisms to fail. And the big fucking
Right,
hand,
shot.
not Mr. Hand, but big fucking hand, big difference, gives our fellow a good whack in the noggin, and it actually carves off part of his head. Now, I don't remember if this is in the regular cut or not, so you'll have to forgive me on this. But in this one, you see these little fucking squigglies coming out of the top of his head.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that is unfucking nerving. You know something is
It
inhabiting these guys.
Yep. I wasn't sure if it was an alien organism, like as the person, or if it was kind of like a alien thing where it just kind of takes over the host.
Wearing a
Like
skin
during this
suit.
part of the movie.
Now,
And you
this
see
is
how
the
it's-
director's cut. I think you actually get a little bit more of these critters in the director's cut than you did in the original.
That's
And
when
you see
know
how
the
it's
movie is really good.
insectoid looking? That's the Migo.
Yeah, they said that they didn't
Okay.
want to use insects. They wanted to use that because it had been overdone.
Yes.
So they just
Yep.
wanted to use this kind of organism instead.
Yeah,
But it is
it's an
insect
energy.
looking.
It is, yeah. It, like that Matrix where they had the whatchamacallit, those
Oh, the
guys.
squiddies.
Sentinels.
Yeah, the squiddies, yeah,
Sentinels.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I almost wish that they hadn't revealed this so soon. I wish that they had revealed this maybe a
Yeah,
little bit later in the movie.
Yeah.
I agree, James. If they had just done this
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not get the whole there's a
Right,
big fucking
right.
energy bug in his head. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I thought that.
Why is my fucking phone still on? Why is that happening? No one knows. So everything blows up, and John gets the fuck out of there. And then we are down with a whole group of these cats.
So
It's again,
it's like being at a gig by The Cure, really.
And now that you
Uncle
mention it,
Fester convention.
Right?
Sorry, go ahead, Roman.
So there's so many bald dark men. Actually, if you'll remember our friend Tom from
There is no
Vegas,
dark in
if you throw a beard on one of these dudes, you got Tom. So they're all, and one of the another unnerving thing about the strangers is they chitter when they're all together.
Yeah.
That chitter,
That was just
Hellraiser.
chattering
weird.
together
vibes.
is
Uh-uh.
fucking giblies, man. And again, it's a minor thing, but it's that under the skin, you have a somewhere deep in your prehistoric brain, it's freaking creepy.
It reminded me of Hellraiser. What was the character from Hellraiser?
Pinhead.
Cenobites.
Pinhead.
yeah,
no,
the
Cenobites.
Cenobites,
Yeah, one of
and
the-
then Pinhead.
Yeah,
Yeah, those were
totally
those were super creepy when that movie came out. That was a good
Yep.
movie,
Mm-hmm.
the first one.
Look at those ears. God, you could take flight with those things.
He's probably British.
But that's a female though, isn't it?
That does happen over there.
Are there
And
really
so-
genders as far as this thing? These,
seemed
these
like this-
things?
Well, I mean,
the Paul.
It's taking
No,
over the
they
body
could-
of humans, so
They could inhabit anybody. Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
have to be gender specific.
Yeah,
They
they
could
don't.
be any-
They're gender neutral.
They could be
They're
all
gender
90.
fluid.
They could be any of the 92 genders. Yes.
I believe he is pansexual. So they're basically our crew is coming back and they're giving their brief on kind of what the fuck happened. One of them dies. I don't remember which one of them bought it. And this little guy's like, "Oh, poor Mr. whatever the fuck his name is."
was it Mr. Wall? I can't remember which one. Oh no, it was
Mr. Book.
no, it was Mr.
Mr. Whippy. Mr. Whippy, I think.
Yeah,
Really,
Mr.
Bob?
Whippy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mr. Whippy.
Was it Mr. Foot?
Mr. Quick.
Mr. Book, I think, is the guy in charge.
So they're
Mr.
giving
Mr.
their
Mr.
brief.
No Head Left.
It was Mr.
Okay, great. That 80s band.
I got you there.
Oh. So they're
So what-
saying he can tune, and that one of their dudes got killed, and that he's more dangerous than they realized. And fuck, I love Bruce Spence.
These suits kind of look like they
Yeah.
might be recycled from the 1984 Dune movie or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Similar, yeah.
They might have
I can
been.
see that. They could have
Very
been. Who
possible.
knows?
Possible.
Who
That
knows?
people, that is a huge industry. People who don't, I mean, yeah, we criticize it in a lot of stuff, like in real time TV show when you can see that, or using costumes for the shows, or whatever. That's a huge
Oh, Mr. Quick,
industry.
thank you.
Where they have giant warehouses, like in California alone. There's more than 10,000 warehouses full of costumes and props and whatever
Oh, yeah.
that they just rent out and reuse. I'm sure
Absolutely.
Australia and New Zealand have the same thing going on.
There's one of those.
So where's Mr. Quick? No one.
There's one of those in the there's one of those in the San Fernando Valley as well.
Like in California, there's 500,000 cars that are solely just to be rented for movies.
Wait,
Yep.
really?
Yep.
Wow.
Well, not anymore.
Not presently.
At least not a U-Haul.
So here's a question I have for both panel and for our lovely chat. So Mr. Book is the boss. He is the boss of the bug people.
Mm.
They are a collective hive mind, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
That's
Why
what they
is-
say.
I suppose for the sake of a film, you have to have somebody be in charge.
I mean, you got your queen bee, I
Well,
guess.
It's not that they're a
Yeah,
collective.
yeah.
They're not a unimind. They're a gestalt. That means they're all individuals in one big mind.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
like,
they're
you know, you
linked.
have
They're
multiple
linked, yeah.
personality disorder. They have multiple personalities. That's the best way to put it.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Some hive minds are more equal than others. That's what we're saying.
So the way that you're saying is it is not the Borg because each of them has their own individual identity.
It just runs on the same processor, so to speak, and shares.
Because they don't. Because
Sure,
when
same memory
they're discussing things, they don't have individual memories. Is that from before they inhabited the bodies? I wonder.
Probably.
The problem is they don't have souls or individual memories, and
Well, it's
that's
'cause
why
they're
they're
fucking
fascinated
energy
with
insects.
humans. That's why they're fascinated with humans.
Well, my understanding is that their collectiveness is what's dying off. Like it can no longer stay alive. So they're trying to find a way to live like humans are, which is as individuals. That's my kind of understanding of what they're going for.
That's fucking deep.
It's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
deep.
So
Or if you expand, if you want to get that in audience, their collective is one animal. It's one organism, right? So if that one thing with all their memories is dying, you know what I mean? They can't keep spawning off of it. You know, like
Gotcha.
I think Ian Richardson's choice for this was brilliant because he was he was in the original British House of Cards long before the American version, and he played the the Kevin Spacey part. I'm assuming. He's just he's a great English actor in that tradition of a Ralph Richardson or John Gielgud or whoever. Ian Richardson, one of those guys. You know.
he passed away a long time, like 20 years ago almost now.
Yeah, he's a class actor for this kind of thing.
Yep.
So yes, this line does come in later. Mr. Han says it later. They took he took the implant. We'll see what that means because he wanted to know
Scottish
what it felt
as well.
like.
Scottish guy.
Mr. Book.
Classic.
Yeah, he's Scottish. Ian Richardson, Scottish actor from my hometown of Edinburgh.
Yep.
Hey,
Wow.
nice place.
That's where my Kiefer Sutherland anecdotes come from. When you see that picture I
Gotcha.
shared in the private channel.
Ah. Again, look at this street. It looks like a fucking painting. I keep saying that because it keeps being true.
It looks good.
The framing of the car is just fucking beautiful with the pipes, the water. Everything's always wet in this fucking world as well. There's always that layer of moisture everywhere. The reflections, and you can't even see the people in the car. You know there are people in the car, but it's that blank image, which is kind of representative of the world. I just fucking love the shot. So what it is, it's Detective Inspector Bumstead, who has a stupid name, is taking the
Inspector
I
Bumstead.
love
Inspector, man.
So how do you
Mr.
really feel about
His
his
name
name?
is Mr.
Be
Bum.
honest.
Mr. Bum. My
Bum
name
fluff.
is stupid. That's what he's thinking right now as he's watching the lovely Emma enter her house. He's thinking, yeah, that's all right.
He's thinking I could do that. Her
So now
husband's
she's
not
in
home
the
yet.
house. That's obviously a picture of her and John at Better Times, which was probably like fucking 4 hours ago, but nobody knows.
Yeah.
And he's in there
Yesterday.
smoking, silhouetted, looking, very menacing, because she doesn't know he's there. She comes out of the shower, which is the best time to surprise your wife, maybe who you don't know. And so they have this
I just
conversation.
start throwing like sharp objects like that, but that's just me. Like I have a very oh, you're gonna break in. Well, you're gonna be sorry you broke in.
But the thing is, he should be taking advantage of the fact that she thinks he is her husband before he tells her that he doesn't know who she is. He's got a window of opportunity here.
All right.
I just-
The chat's killing me right now. I love a voice like There's Blair voice everywhere. Not a euphemism, not meant in that context.
Too
this
late.
time, but often. So they have this whole conversation that because she doesn't realize, she's like, John, and he's like, am I supposed to be your husband? And so they sit, and she's like, you really don't know who I am, do you? And he's like, no, I really
blew
don't.
it. He blew his chance straight away, but never mind. He blew it.
And he's like, I was just with a hooker like 10 minutes ago because I wanted to see if I would kill her. That's funny, right? That's a funny story.
Right there.
And by the way,
Time to tell your wife when you get home.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll try that next time.
Hey, honey, I didn't kill the
with a
hooker
hooker-
today. I didn't kill the hooker today.
As long as you
Hey,
don't
honey,
kill the
I followed a
that
hooker
should
home
save the
and
day.
didn't kill her.
Didn't kill her. Are you proud of me?
So
Now
you
make
really
me
don't know
a sandwich.
No, honey, I was with a hooker and I didn't kill her. Well, I guess all's forgiven then. Come on, I'll make you a sandwich.
As long as you bring her a goldfish, it's all good.
Yeah. So Blurry screened me because I did a bad job, and she gives him the doctor's card, Dr. Schreiber. And it's just, you can feel the awkwardness of this, that it's almost like she's forced into this role because she is forced into this role. But it plays awful, but it does, everything seems, and that's the way it's supposed to be, just a little bit off.
Dang,
Boosh.
Oh, no,
Just to kind of
Boosh.
illustrate how much of a weirdo I am, the entire time I watched this scene, all I could think about was that damn window in the back with the glass ceiling. I don't know why that bothered me so much, but I was like, who would put that on their house?
Well, because it's weird architecture.
Yeah,
it does. It makes things feel weird. I mean, it's
don't you-
the lighting, where things are placed.
Yeah,
It's
I guess that's true.
it's-
It was just real unsettling to me.
Well, because remember, these are memories, but a memory is, and as we all know, is far from an accurate thing. A memory is what you take from it. But that's why like eyewitness testimony is seldom very good, because you remember what you want to remember. You fill in gaps. And that's what happens. That's why I think everything looks so weird, because it's impressions of things. It's impressions of a relationship, impressions of what this apartment should look like. It's always going to be a little bit off, much like my life, but in a film.
Much like your wife, did you say?
Yep.
Roman was never heard from again.
That was
And that's it for me for the
All of a
evening.
sudden, we just see a hand like reach out and grab Roman's throat. And
It's
just
an
yank.
awkward
Hey,
statement to make
Mrs.
live.
Hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was be like,
Awkward. Where were we?
Yeah, what happened?
Window. Last
Bring it back to
window.
me. Peculiar. Okay, so he's looking. He's like, "Who drove you here? What's that car doing out there?" And she's like, "Oh, it's that guy with the stupid fucking name. I didn't know he was going to stick around." Inspector Bumstead, who stuck around, who clearly has a very lonely life.
Very.
Is he married?
Probably
Bumstead,
not.
Yeah.
no, there is no Mrs. Inspector Bumstead to share that delightful name.
There's
with.
no Mrs. Bum.
There's no Mrs. Bum.
Mrs. Stead.
So he realizes he's probably fucked here because the cops gave his pretend wife a ride home, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go."
Bye.
See ya.
Much the same way he left the prostitute's apartment, and he's like, "Hey, dude, stop." And he's like, "Hey, I didn't do any of this." He's like, "It's just, right now you're a suspect. Come with me and we'll talk." Because that's always what the police want you to do.
Right.
And she's like, she
In her
does a
bathroom.
good job here because remember, she remembers John. She knows, in her mind they've been married for 4 years, so she wants to protect her husband despite the fact that he was just with a prostitute, but it didn't kill her.
But technically, like, she had an
She
affair.
had an affair,
So,
yeah.
like,
Oh yes, did they discuss that yet?
yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
They did, but they didn't show it.
Oh, they did.
Damn
Okay,
it.
so I apologize. My sense of memory isn't very good, folks. So yeah, so she had an affair because she, for whatever fucking reason, and then because it was set up in her memory, that's why. And he wanted to get back at her because he's been missing for 3 weeks. She had the affair. He found out about it. He went missing for 3 weeks, and then all the murders happened. But again, these are all sense of time doesn't fucking matter. 3 weeks was 2 hours ago. Nobody knows. It's just really offsetting as far as your mind goes. So she wants to protect him, and he's like, "Please get out of the way." And she's like, "All right." And he jumps off the fucking stairwell.
Good Lord.
He's very athletic.
To do. Yeah. I would have broken all his
I found this surprising how well he did with this. And he's like, "No one ever listens to me."
That's a great
That's why he doesn't have a wife.
So the pursuit begins. Again, the shots. We're looking up from the stair in the bottom of the stairwell now up to the roof.
It's kind of
And then we look down to the floor.
Pops.
That's true and weird all at the same time. You remind me of the Babe. So the up and down of the stairwell, just again, I love the juxtaposition of the shots. I think it's fantastic. So he's pursuing. John runs into this room where it's just it's a closed off room. But he does his special, like his instinctive mind trick again, and a door materializes behind him. And he's like, "Oh, it's a fucking door. That's peculiar. That wasn't there like 2 seconds ago."
How handy would that be?
Yep.
So panel and chat. Does he know he's doing this at this point? Do you think, or do you think he's just like, "What the fuck"?
I don't think he knows he's doing it. Just because it's like if he can't remember who he was the day before, anything that shows up, he looks 1 minute, it's not there, and it's there the next. I just don't think he knows he's doing it consciously.
I don't think he believes he's doing it yet. I think it's cognitive dissonance. He thinks he sees it happening. He can feel it's something he does, but he can't accept that it's possible to do.
Yeah, well, and go ahead.
And I think it's because it's altering reality at will. So kind of like what Matt had said. Okay, I need a door to escape. A door that materializes, and he's just like, okay, I don't know how this is happening. So his mind is just like a little
he thinks
yeah, but he's very thankful for it. Oh well, that's nice.
Well, and he is off. I mean, his memories are still fucked up, so he's not at his best, as they would say. So he may think, fuck, maybe I'm hallucinating or something. I don't know. Like me on Sunday morning, wondering what the fuck happened on Saturday. So then the man with the unfortunate name.
Where was I last night, and why am I naked?
Yeah, and that'll probably be me tomorrow as well, but that's fine. What are you gonna do? So Detective Bumstead of the bad name rushes into the same room. The door is gone. He's like, "There's nowhere he could have gone." So now he's like, "What the fuck, dude? That's peculiar." That's the look of a man who's saying that's peculiar.
That's peculiar.
Oh God, Pops.
But he did drop his card for the much maligned Dr. Schreiber. It's a lovely card. I'm wondering what font that is and how that would have compared to the cards that they used in American Psycho. How impressed they would have been with that.
Schreiber sounds like a guy that would make furniture. Schreiber. I don't know. It just sounds furniture-ish.
Schreiber.
Oh! I don't know why that triggered my mind, Brian, but it did. So if you'll notice in the film when they show a place, it's hotel, automat. None of the places have a special name. They all have the generic name of what it is. The utility name essentially. So just it's an interesting.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It just said it had a sign that said food.
Yeah,
it's like
it is
Valentino's
as basic as it can be.
Well, think
about
his best.
think about how we live our lives, right? Like when you go, you don't say I'm going to Bob's grocery. You say I'm going to the store or I'm going to the movies.
Yeah.
These people are stuck living their local lives over and over again.
True.
So everything
and there is a chain of there is a chain of bars out here in my town that's just called The Bar.
Was there a sign that said hooker in the movie?
That's what I was thinking as well, Brian. You read my mind. I was thinking prostitute.
Well, if you look at this, what is that? A ticket stub next to this thing?
It's a concert ticket stub.
Yeah, so it has like a name.
Something
You know what I mean? It just doesn't say the concert.
What's up, Zombie?
Oh, Zombie Box Reviews here. Hello, Zombie Box. Nice to see you. So this isn't a cab, by the way, in case you're curious. So John hops into a cab and he's like, hey, do you know where Shell Beach is? And the guy's, of course, my wife and I honeymoon there. He's like, can you tell me how to get there? He's like, yeah, it's you get on. It's like me trying to recollect what happened the night before. It's very, very similar. You just can't remember.
Well, it's having to give directions, Roman. That's what it is.
Which I am not good at as well. I am this cab driver. And so the guy kind of fumble fucks his way through it until they reach the doctor's office. And Inspector Bumstead of the bad name is already talking to Dr. Schreiber. And they have an interesting conversation. He wasn't like any help to the inspector at all, but he didn't choose to be either. He didn't want to be. And they're talking about personality, and the inspector's like, I've tracked down a lot of killers in my day, which who fucking knows if that's true or not. And this guy doesn't seem like a killer. And Dr. Schreiber's like, well, excuse me, Inspector, but people's personalities are my line of work. For you, for instance, you are very detailed oriented, a very lonely life, I think. And he's like, well, I may not have your expertise, doctor, but I know when someone's lying to me. And I have a stupid fucking name. So there.
My name is stupid compared to yours. What do you got?
Man, the darkness. They use the darkness so well in this.
Yeah.
Everyone is a silhouette or just part of a shot most of the time. And it just fucking works so good. Hello.
Naturally, when everyone stepped out off the set at the end of the day into the bright Australian sunshine, they were all blinded for 4 hours.
Fuck!
And then they were bitten by 3 spiders.
That's right.
They walk outside. I'm dead.
I was just in the toilet for like a minute. Something bit my sack. It's big as a grapefruit.
What's the sack as big as grapefruit, or the thing that bit them was?
Yes.
Just wishful
thinking. Yeah. Let the mind wander.
Yup.
So John is now kind of tracking Dr. Schreiber, just seeing what the fuck he's doing. He hasn't really made himself known to him yet. He's kind of followed him, saying, "What's the good doctor all about?" Are you? Yeah, time zones. I know. Well, thanks for hanging out with us for the sake of comments that it's nice for you to drop in. Please come by again, and you can be subjected to these bizarre and interesting facts. So he's in a pool. It's kind of chilling like you do at the end of the day. It looks very humid in there. It's like, I don't know if the pool is heated or what, but it gives that tropics impression.
So inviting looking.
Right?
It just looks like such fun, that pool.
That's where the men get together, kids, and hang out.
That's true, yes.
Time to relax. And if you look at the clock, I mean, the clock's ticking away. It's what is that, like 10 to 11 or so? Something. And in comes Mr. Hand.
The Hand.
Basically talking to the doc. He's like, what? Because he wants to know what the fuck happened with Mr. Murdoch. And he's like, he woke up when I was, doing the impression, and he knocked the thing out of my hand, and I'm kind of fucked right now. because he left. That's the thing he left behind. That's the thing. That's the syringe. I lost the word syringe. That's
all right.
nice.
I had it for you.
Thank you. Funny fact about this. So we'll see the scene in a little bit, but when you see this thing up close, there's actually they made like a 3-foot version of it so that all the detail could look crystal clear when you see it. I think that's just kind of a weird, neat thing. I don't know why, but I do. And he's like, okay, you can recreate the memories. Yes.
Look at my
yes,
keychain.
of course I can.
Of course.
Sure.
Don't kill me. Don't kill me.
You're very frail, doctor. You need the exercise. I have a bad heart. Please don't fucking kill me. And John's just kind of hanging out in the back here like a weirdo, hearing the conversation. And he's going through Dr. Schreiber's bag of tricks, and he's got, more of these things. He's like, what in the fuck? So now we are at Walensky's. Walensky? Was that the...
Yeah,
I may be making... The other detective, the crazy detective's house.
Yes.
That is Mrs. Walensky. And while it is a peculiar name, it's not nearly as bad as Bumstead, which is why he has a wife.
Nobody would want to get that.
How's he doing? He's fucking crazy. So he has him come in. He's just in here drawing. It's a lot of spirals. Lets him into the room. And again, crazy town. You see up here in the corner, that is obviously the stranger.
Mm-hmm.
And then the spirals. So he's just trying to connect the pieces, but he doesn't really understand. He just knows everything is not right.
Is that one in the lower left there? Is that one of the bugs with the multiple
Looks
arms?
like it.
Looks like it,
That's
yeah.
what it looks like to me, dude. That's what I thought too.
Way too much.
Good catch.
Oh, you actually have a couple up here. Do you have more of that? I didn't really notice that.
Yeah.
That's a good eye. That's a good eye shield wall. And also, this does look like that 70s Rockfan from behind. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend it.
Yeah,
How
this
do
is
you know what he looks like?
This is my living room.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No. This is the Mad Hatter cell at Arkham.
Yep.
Same thing.
Okay.
So he's trying to relay that nothing is real. Nothing that they know is real. That it's all he basically says it's all a big joke.
It's very existential.
Not quite accurate.
I know it's a joke.
Good timing.
But he knows that he isn't a detective. He's and that none of them are who they are supposed to be. He has this much of the puzzle, and it was enough to drive him insane. Because if you suddenly realize the reality isn't, it ain't going to take much.
Yep.
It's good drugs.
It's all a joke.
And again, with the lighting,
Yes.
how that stark light bulb, it's almost like a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling, except it's laying on the ground. The way the lampshade is kind of shining it.
I would just say this is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I just really enjoyed the acting here, and like this is extreme lighting, and the way this Walensky, the actor, I thought he did a great role here.
Yes.
It was really convincing. So yeah, I really enjoyed this part of the scene. Movie.
And he does come off as crazy.
Yep.
He does. He sounds like a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
What
Because
are you
he's
saying?
not able to. No offense, Joker. Because he's not able to articulate the points. Because he doesn't understand them. You can't really describe something you don't understand.
Like me on most YouTube streams. I can't articulate what I'm trying to say.
He's doing his best with the limited data he has, but it makes him sound like a fucking batshit crazy dude.
Agreed.
And that's what Bumstead is thinking.
Mr. Taint.
It's all a joke. And now we're back out on the street with Murdoch following Dr. Schreiber. And a door appears. So we go back here for a second. He's following and he's walking towards this brick wall. And then suddenly there's a fucking door. That's interesting. And then I like these underground. And I think this might have been what you were talking about, James. The canvas stretched over metal to give these appearances of things. It's a very simple set. I mean, it's super basic. It's basically, it's fucking metal poles and all this black fabric around it, but it creates this strange, almost hive-like world.
And everything's so dark. I mean, you really can't see much anyway.
Well, I mean, it's like a ride at an amusement park where they've got everything. You're going to like this really dark thing, so you can't see all these like minor, blemishes and things. It looks clean. So, this part was really
thought
interesting.
this was cool.
Yeah,
they have these conveyor belts of stuff,
Yep.
and they're saying for tonight's tuning, we need this and this and this. They're creating people's lives or changing people's lives, and they need the props.
Kind of felt like they were playing Sims with humanity.
Yes. So imagine you're one of the energy bug guys, though. You got guys like Mr. Hand and Mr. Sleep, the weird fucker, who go out and they're in the field, they're doing stuff fun. You're down on the assembly line making bears. I got the worst fucking job in this thing.
You've misinterpreted this. This is Amazon's new Chinese facility.
So you will buy the products, yes.
So
You will
if
buy all the products.
if they're making stuff for the Sims, we can be sure they're not making any ladders for pools.
Right?
Yeah.
You will get bit in the groin by the giant spider, yes? And so
and you will like it.
So Doc is in here and he's mixing and matching memories. I mean, they make it the way they make it looks, very physical. You take a dash of this, bit of that, and you make a memory.
You're playing
sad
Mad
childhood,
Scientist.
death. And it's funny though, because the way he's talking to this, because the Doc opens up the syringe and he kind of whiffs it like, oh, a fresh one. He's like, what is this? A grand lover. And he looks at him. He's like, I don't suppose you could really appreciate any of this, Mr. Whatever your name is. It's funny.
Mr. Stool.
And so here we have, these are memories. These are just chunks of memory. It looks, whatever, this is how they chose to represent it. You put a dash of this, a dash of that, a death in the family, and boom.
Teenage angst.
Yep.
Whatever. And it's just kind of neat.
It's
a good visual.
You're all good.
It is Pop Rocks, which did not kill Mikey, by the way. That was an urban legend.
And I heard that goes way back, like the 70s.
It does go way back.
Yeah, he drank.
So, go ahead.
He drank 4 Dr. Or he took 4 packs, swallowed it, and then drank 4 Dr. Peppers in his stomach.
And he exploded.
Yeah.
Urban myths from the 70s, kids, in case you're wondering what those are.
Something that I noticed in this scene in particular, if you notice the crack on his head, part of me was wondering, is the alien thingy expanding, trying to get out of the human brain?
I thought that's how they got in.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
I'd assume they had crawled in through the anus. I wasn't sure.
I had to make it weird.
I apologize to everyone for that.
Well, there's a limited number of entrances and exits, so it could be plausible.
Very true.
Yeah.
True. So Mr. Book is now talking to the doctor basically about what he is calling the doctor's fuck up. He doesn't use those words, but the doctor's like, "This is what you wanted, right?" Because he's trying to explain what's happening with John. He's like, he's evolved. He can do what you guys do now. This is your experiment, and now it looks like it's going to bite you on the. He's going to say ass, and then to keep that old timey feel, they cut him off before he said it, and Mr. Book it's like fuck off and throws him on the floor, and. This is, I think, at the point where they're deciding they need to bring him in. And again, you get that. Oh, it's time. I like that. So they're having their conversation. Mid-conversation, a bell goes off, an alarm, some kind of fucking thing. And everybody needs to go down for the tuning. It is time. And they all go down to their big chamber. And this is a really fun scene. It's a neat looking scene. You get all the chittering, and there's this big fucking face.
Ice.
And that's an actual 50-foot set piece they made at a circus, I believe, in Australia. When I was reading about
it. Yeah, they used the fairgrounds for
the fairgrounds. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
and the head bug is facing all the other bugs. And what does he say here? It's not bring it to a stop. It's
Let's get ready to rumble.
no, it's essentially put it all on hold. He had a better way of saying it. That I'm not
My
remembering. What it is
milkshake
exactly.
brings all the boys to the yard.
Anyway,
Or
so
words to
basically
that
it's like
equivalent.
stop it all. Oh, all right, Zim, thanks for coming by so much. I hope we entertained you at least mildly or disturbed you. I'm good with either one. So they're looking at the big face, bring it all to a halt. So this is when let the tuning begin. And everything stops. Everything stops. All the cars stop, the train stop, the people fall. And I don't know how everything doesn't crash into each other. Probably some engineering marvel on the part of the strangers so that the society created doesn't just implode whenever they stop everything, because that would be awkward.
One thing there, I always thought it would have been a little more effective if instead of the people just sort of plopping over like in the serial, they sort of just wound down like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
Got a little bit
That was
slower.
that was Matt, that was a kind of a bad comedic effect.
Yeah.
And we'll get there in a second. We're at the police station. He's doing his notes. Now he's drawing fucking spirals. So they're having a conversation about his shit.
Yeah,
job.
this is just wow.
It
This
was
conversation.
weird. It was so weird.
It's
And
the
he's like-
depressing part.
He's like, so fucking Ferguson, I told him, hey, you need to get me off nights. And she's like, and right you should, dear. And they just fucking freeze up. Oh, do I have it? Oh, I don't know. Oh, so that's before. Now it's midnight. Everything stops. Dong, dong, dong. They're in their soup. Wouldn't they fucking die?
Drowning.
I'm just
Thinking.
No, I've been there
Yes,
before.
that's
I've
what-
been there
yes.
before. Yeah, after a couple of
head first
only
into the
once.
ramen, eh?
all the ramen. Ramen is just great for the skin. Oh, it's good. Yeah, bowl of ramen.
Now is ramen better than a egg drop soup?
Yeah. It's got better oils in it.
Okay.
We got some
I
good
recommend
ramen
it.
joints
I
out here,
recommend
like legit ramen joints. I fucking love them. So, hey, for the panel and the chat, is this the same thing as the hot dog stand in The Crow?
Probably.
Maybe.
Yes.
I'm saying it is. I could be wrong, but I think it is. If you'll remember, the greasy, nasty hot dog stand is oddly enough a greasy, nasty hot dog stand in this universe as well.
Some of the best hot dogs.
Oh yeah.
You're definitely having some kind of fucking leakage at
Well,
the
let's
wrong
see
end
where
of
I
this.
want to look where they filmed The Crow.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. This was all Australia, but they could have flown that fucking thing down there, Matt.
On an emu.
Now showing the evil.
That's right. Should just be evil, not the evil. It's over
Oh, The
11.
Crow was filmed in North Carolina, so it wasn't nowhere near there.
Okay.
Wilmington.
Okay. So probably
That's a
not.
production. No, wait, that's
It's
production.
funny, I'm wearing a North Carolinian t-shirt today from the Double Door in Charlotte.
What?
North Carolina guy. Right
Spooky
here.
or what?
I have never been there. You are the evil, sir.
Yeah.
So all the clocks hit midnight, and he's like, "What the?" So he's seeing this for the second time, but now he has a bit more context to things, at least a little bit more context on things. And everybody's out, and he's yelling at them. He's like, "Wake up! Wake up!" Like, which after you did it the first time and no one woke up, I think you would probably stop. But he does it for
That's
a little
right,
while.
yeah.
Exactly.
And all the fucking buggies are chitter chattering in their cave. And again, it's because they're like facing each other and turning and facing other ones, and it's all some strange communication they have going on. It's bizarre, but it's off-putting. It's also off-putting. That's one of the cool things about it. So these are the machines that you see later that are under the world. There's more of the little fellers that change reality, that shape the reality that they live in. And this is a neat scene.
Yeah.
And
That's pretty cool.
so he's watching, and the buildings themselves
Yeah,
are changing.
incredibly done.
Mm-hmm.
And so they carry the people out, and this is the scene I think that you get to see. Oh, there's the couple. They're bringing in new clothes for them while they drown in their fucking soup, setting them up, and everything changes around them. Here's the syringe, and I don't know if I have it here. No, that's not it. Balls. Anyway, he's injecting memories.
The table
into
expands. The table
Yes.
expands out. And becomes,
While the scene is happening, the table expands out.
great,
It's,
yeah.
it's
Such a
nicely
great
done.
scene. Yeah. They got a bit of an upgrade, didn't they?
Yeah.
A bit.
They did. Well, and everything around them while Dr. Schreiber's there is changing and just in the scene. And I think it's while it's an older movie, I think the effect actually holds up very nicely.
Yeah.
Perfect for me.
It does.
Yep.
Another
I would
great
just think-
still there.
I would just think that would kind of be
Sorry about that.
kind of be a bit of a nuisance because you're about to put the syringe into some lady's head, and then as the building's moving, she moves back, and you're like, "I'm not gonna walk over there now."
Yeah. So, funny thing about the building is moving. Alex Proyas got the idea for that. If I have, anyway, the building's moving. We'll just go with that, so I don't have to go through the whole fucking thing.
The strangers are about
Alex
to do the head
Proyas-
jab, and the strangers are like, "Move it back a foot," and then he does it again. He goes, another foot now.
We've got him. He's getting pissed.
Okay, and Roman, now you thought the folks on the assembly line had a bad job. Pops has it right. The crappiest job is you
know what? You're probably right.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
A lot of dank stuff going on there. Not good. So Proyas got the idea for the buildings transforming while he was watching them on the set of The Crow, moving different set pieces around. That's where that concept came to him. So weird little tidbit there. So now Murdoch reveals himself to Dr. Schreiber. He's like, dude, you need to tell me what's going on. And he does the mind thing on him, the tuning.
Tuned him.
You got tuned.
And this is where he tells him, he's like, you can do what they do.
You have their power.
You have their power.
Who's they?
They don't have a lot of time for the conversation. And he's like, we can't talk here. This is not safe. They are coming. And so they don't have a lot of time together to have this. And he does tell him, I can help you. And this is one of the things I found like very interesting about this character. You didn't know if he was telling the truth or not. Right. I wasn't sure until the fucking end of the movie if he was just playing him or if he was legit in his I can help.
It's weird because I believed him straight away. Yeah, it's weird.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, the part
I am
that
not
kind
a
of like
trusting person.
Yeah, the part that confuses me is he looks like he's enjoying his job. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
yes,
that part of it like makes me like not have all that trust that I think I should. But you do feel like you could trust him, but at the same time, it's like this guy's having way too much fun doing what he's doing. I don't know.
Kind of that mad scientist vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's something to think of. The same way that the strangers manipulated the humans, he manipulated this guy and the strangers.
Mm-hmm.
So, agreed.
Is he really could he be a super stranger making his own diorama of things going on with the humans and the strangers? I mean,
he's a complex
I
character.
don't think so because of the reveal at the end.
Well, all I'm saying,
now,
Robin,
we don't know if that's true either, though. That's the thing. It's hard to know what's.
At this point, you don't know.
That's what I'm getting at. Like the movie just ends. Like it's not like we see 10 years later.
Oh no, and I like that. We'll get to that part, but I like the ending of the film a great deal. So the strangers pop out of the door, and poor Doc Schreiber's like, he attacked me. And he's like,
of course, Mr. Hand's just like, I ought to smack you with my hand.
And I have this look all the time, same look. And so they have a plan. And he's like, we have much to do, Doctor. Yes. Because they have a plan for what they want to do, and their plan is fucking bizarre. What did Zach say? Show.
Super squirrels.
You're not showing. Are you showing? What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. There it comes. Super skulls. Oh, that's Zax. Zax. That wasn't meant for any of us to feel good. So now the clock starts again. So everything starts back up. The big fucking face closes. All the clocks start chiming, and he's just suddenly awake. No one really thinks much of it. Like I was just asleep on my fucking instrument. Everybody in the diner, the barber shop, and then they were having their conversation again. And he's like, Ferguson, I had to tell him I just have to let you go. And she's like, and you were right to do so, dear. So now this is Detective Bumstead with the unfortunate name, watching his coffee swirl around again. He's having this just
Mental
like
break.
Walensky did with the spirals. What does it mean? What does it all mean? Not
Wait
too
a minute.
subtle.
Bumstead.
Yes.
Wasn't on what was that old serial cartoon, Dagwood Bumstead?
Was it Bumstead?
Was it?
I know
Was
the
it-
one you're talking about. It had the funny hair, made sandwiches.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it blonde? Was it Blondie
Blondie.
and Dagwood?
Blondie and Dag, yeah, and it wasn't his name Dagwood Bumstead or something like that.
I'm not sure.
I think you're right. I kept thinking the name sounded familiar, but I didn't know why. I knew it was irritating and stupid, but I didn't know why. Now, for a cartoon character, the name fits just well. For an inspector, it's kind of peculiar, but it might have been a memory. He remembers the comic script from the 1940s, which has a peculiar, goofy name. But
Yeah,
that's what
The last name is Bumstead for the Dagwood and Blondie.
Oh wow. Okay.
So here we are back with the lovely Jennifer Connelly singing again. This is The Night Has 1,000 Eyes or something. It's kind of an interesting song. And I don't know if she wrote her own stuff or not. Probably not. And she's singing, and Detective Bumstead, again, it's a lovely shot with the backlighting. I think it looks really good. And now we're with the strangers, and this is kind of cool because they're plotting what the tuning for the evening is going to be. And Mr. Book's like, Inova on Avenue M. And then the little fella's like, there is no Avenue M. And they did because they couldn't, there was an opposing force during the tuning the night before that didn't let them complete the metamorphosis of the city. And now they realize that John is actually far more dangerous. I think it's like, we underestimated him. We just thought he was like able to do a little bit, and he actually is pushing back against our power, their collective power, not just a dude, but all of them. Or they're playing a game of Risk. I'm not sure. It was one of the two. No one else got the Risk reference? No? All right.
Okay. We're there.
We're all nerds. You should know what Risk is. So this is, and there's like, yeah, we got to go find this motherfucker. And actually, Mr. Hand proposes, I think this is where he proposes, that he get imprinted. But with the memories, yeah?
It just seems so much like Agent Smith. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, the parallels between those two characters.
Mhm.
Just like, you can't deny it at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing here. He's because that way they can know what he was supposed to do,
Right.
so they can track where he is probably going to go based on what fragments he had, and while he's trying to piece it together, where he may end up. Good detective work, really. And this, apparently they've tried this in the past, and it didn't go well. It didn't take, and it just ended up killing the subject. Pull Mr. whatever the fuck his name was. So they strap him in, which it doesn't matter. I'm like, I don't really know why they needed to do this, but whatever, it's fine. They put this
Looks
lovely
cool.
headband on him with this, so you can't not
Stylish.
hit the hole. Had to be a better way to say that. And sorry, everyone. It was subtle, but not as subtle as it should have been. And so he's like, this may hurt a little bit. and he shoves it in there, not too gently. Look at his fucking face.
He's like,
He's
Fuck you, Mr. Hand. I've been wanting to do this for fucking ever.
You
You start
like
moving the people back, you bastard.
You piece of shit. So,
This is how dolphins mate, right?
yes, exactly like this. In fact. So now Mr. Hand is getting all the memories that John was supposed to get to make him the serial killer. So he is getting that whole fucking shooting match, which, okay, that's fine. Fucking weirdo. So these are all, this is what makes a serial killer. And now he's with his missus. This is a weird shot because everything's distorted, so she looks tiny. And then this is him murdering broads. And then he's going through his pockets here, and I don't know why he suddenly had it. It doesn't matter. Oh, the postcard. This is a postcard. I'm sorry. Forget my brain. From Carl. He's reading it through. Blah blah blah. Da 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 da. Carl. He's like Carl Hong, Carl Wong, Carl Fung, and then he sees on the thing it's Carl Harris. K. Harris, fucking fishmonger. And this is obviously you see what Shell Beach looks like on the postcard. And KH Carl Harris. He runs into a phone book because they have phone books that have the name of every person in the city. Do they have to redo the phone books every night, do you think? What a pain!
Boy, that'd be a pain in the ass.
Different books.
I didn't think about that.
I would hate to be the stranger with that job. Oh, again.
We got to change the fucking phone books again.
That would be Mr. Unliked would get that joke.
Also, like part of me was thinking, so do that? Like, I don't think they change every individual person's memories every every night or something, because like they're like the main character's like uncle still remembers him. Like, did they just make him have those memories right then? It had seemed that they hadn't been there in a while. So
right, and the cop, the inspector, he keeps his memories, right?
Also, notice these people are programmed to be kind of stupid. In other words, say like, "Oh, where is so and so beach? Oh, it's right over, maybe." Oh, like they just accept that they don't have complete memory.
That they don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two repeating numbers too. There's 55595, and there's a 55595 on the left of it too.
Yeah,
it's like repeating numbers. Yeah. Wow.
555, which means there's only 10,000 possible combinations.
Jesus, Joker. Damn.
How did you?
Rain Man. Goddamn.
0000 to 9999. 10,000.
Well, there probably aren't 10,000 people there. I'm guessing.
I don't know how many people, and so you never really get a good feel for how many of them there are.
Well, you never, until the end, you don't get a good idea how big the city actually is.
No, that's also true. Yeah,
Right.
you have no concept.
Yeah.
of the size.
Yeah, it has areas like the Crescent City and the East City and the South City, so it must have a certain size.
So again, it looks like the model is the prostitute, and this is the gentleman from the hotel who was the hotel clerk earlier, and now he is working at
He's a prostitute
magazine
too.
stand.
Mm-hmm.
He works hard for his money.
Money.
And he's asking him where Shell Beach is, and of course he can't.
Well, he has his own name of Mr. Hand, and it has a completely different meaning.
And he asks him, "How long have you worked this stand?" He's like, 25 years, not a night off for good behavior. So he thinks he's been there for 25 years. And so he gets basically the directions to Shell Beach. Which he tells him take the subway. Okay.
Okay, I could have thought of that. I wouldn't need to ask a newsstand guy. I could have thought of that.
Well, he's not working on full thrusters here. And now they're coming to get him. So they're all doing the float thing, which is a really cool visual. Creepy, another creepy visual.
Very,
very creepy.
Oh, and now they are with with prostitute, with unnamed prostitute, because that's where John was, and John Murdoch. Yes, he was here. Yes, he's just kind of following the footsteps that John was supposed to follow.
Right.
And she doesn't fucking know anything really.
Mm-mm.
And so now John's on the train, which pretty much looks like any other train. And there's a map. And on the map, there's Shell Beach, which has a very peculiar short line. It's the green line. You need to get from the blue line to the green line. So
And she
leave
looks
me
like she's
alone
been on
with
the white
yes. line. A whole different line, my friend. Although the effect may end up being the same. And so he's like, leave me alone with her. Yes, business to do, because he's got John's serial killer imprint. So he's serial killing. Look how happy he is, though. That's just pure joy.
It is.
He's now
Bless him.
Mr.
Man.
Happy is now his name, Mr. Happy.
And the weird, creepy little imp there that
Mr.
needs to be
Sleep.
punted off a cliff.
Yeah.
Yeet.
And so he's remembering what John is supposed to be doing. And this is her betraying. He sees them having the affair, and then he goes off serial killing. And he's like, I don't know where he is now, but I know where he's going to be, assuming he's going to go back to his wife. But he still wants to stay here and kill the hooker. Because, if you got some hooker killing to do, you have a little bit of time, you do that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
Why
you can't
not?
So
afford
now
to-
he's on-
you can't afford to backslide on that work. You got to get it done when you can.
No, it's not
Exactly.
easy.
Mhm.
So now he's on the green line, and the green line stops, and everybody's getting off, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "Hey, how do I get to Coast to Shell Beach?" And the dude here is like, "You got to take the express."
I
And the
always found
express
that
just
that guy's attire just didn't seem like it fit in with the scene. Like this era, you know what I mean?
Not
Like the
at all.
hoodie.
Yeah.
No, that was
Yeah.
weird. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not at all.
He's a
Because
time traveler.
everybody else.
Wait a minute, he's
has
a time
the-
traveler. There's time travel in this movie.
The Dark City is supposed to be constructed from a multitude of eras.
Yes,
We're just
yeah.
focusing on the 1940s.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Most of it has a similar look, and this one does. This is the out of place dude.
Exactly.
And then the express, he gets off the train. The express is like, boom, just goes by.
It was a real express.
And he asks the dude, he's like, "How do I get on that?" And the railway guy is like, "Well, that's the express," basically implying it never fucking stops. So we don't get on the express. And here we have Walensky again. I actually like this. You get Walensky's kind of explanation.
As far as like with the pieces he has, his explanation.
Mm-hmm.
which basically is the memory you have is from someone else and 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 someone else. You're a big jigsaw puzzle that gets shaken and scrambled every night.
Except every now and then, one of us wakes up. It's not supposed to happen, but it does.
So, are you saying he's woke?
Yes,
Uh,
he has
not
awoken.
not the bad kind. But yeah, so he woke up when the whole thing was going down, just like John did.
Right.
Except he had his, like, John had a partial done, I think, because it basically wiped him out and left nothing there. Where he still had his original memories of what he thought was supposed to happen, except he realized that this is all fucking weird bullshit. So do you think when midnight comes that he fucking locks up and goes to sleep now, or do you think he's always awake?
I think he's always awake.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the psychosis part of it.
Doesn't
I mean,
sleep.
He looks like he's been on a Adderall cocaine ender. So
Well,
not that I've seen or experienced anything like that ever. Never once.
Well, what he also says here is, there's no way out. I've been over every inch of this city. There is no way out of this city.
I've been over every inch of Jennifer Connelly, and there's no way out.
There's no way.
Oh my.
There's no way in.
As long as there's a way
I was
in,
gonna
that's all
say,
that matters.
yeah, exactly. You don't
there's
want
a
to look
hole,
for
there's
a
a
way
way.
out.
And he's like, but I figured a way out, not that way out. And he fucking is like, and then he just jumps in front of the train.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Accepted.
Which, ironically enough, means he's going to become a body for one of the, assuming it survives. For one of the.
Well, I don't know how much room there's gonna. Yeah, it's pretty squishy. And John's like, "Oh fuck, that ain't cool," and he's like, "I better go."
Yeah, and creepy kid.
Hey, our favorite little
Yep,
kid.
come back to yeeting kid off of a cliff.
So they're in the apartment now. Mr. Hand's having the memories of where they met. So he's like, I know where they're going to go. Because they're looking for her now. And so that's where they go. It's this dark, gloomy spot down by the sea. And he has this strange story that he relays. Because first he starts talking about memories. It's like, it's wonderful, isn't it? Being able to revisit the places that we were once. But then he kind of lets it slip a little bit. Like, what if everyone had one memory? You know, that which is what they have. You know, they're the bug people. And then he shares one of John's memories. You know, when I was a boy, there was a ferry that used to come by, or a parade boat, some fucking thing that would just lit up like, you know,
a birthday cake.
Yes. And she's like, my husband said the same thing. He's like, this is where I met my wife. Small
This is
world.
where I met to my husband. Oh my gosh.
His wife's name was Small World. What a weird name.
This is another nice shot. Looks like a painting of the city in the backdrop. And this just
gives more idea of scale. Yeah.
Everything is dark all the time.
It's a dark.
You do have to wonder. I don't know how many people are here. It is an interesting question. You don't know. The place is huge.
No.
Yeah.
The
other thing is
more than 10,000 people in that.
Yeah, they never look up, so you never get an idea of what's in the sky, whether it be stars or anything like that.
Or just black.
You know, you never see.
But this is the conversation we just had. And then he after as soon as he says small world, he leaves. Creepy.
Weirdo.
So now she is kind of trying to retrace John's steps as well, because she's like, well, he went to go see prostitute, and everyone knows where prostitute is. She's outside the auto map.
After you see the prostitute, you're going to be hungry, right? I mean,
if you give them munchies.
She's the prostitute, the only one.
So she goes up. She's going.
If you look at that automat, the interior of that is the brightest thing in this show I've seen so far.
If you guys you got to take a look. I'm pretty sure you guys all know about the painting Nighthawks, Edward Hopper.
Yes.
Ring a bell?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
You could see like the director has looked at some Edward Hopper paintings while he's been making this movie. Even the cottage, by the ocean, there are paintings of Edward Hopper that look exactly like that. So yeah, just if any of you out there are curious, go look at some Edward Hopper paintings, and you'll see some influence there.
Yeah, and you've all seen the painting that James is talking about. It's the four people in the diner. You've all seen it. You've all seen it. You've all seen it. And there have been a lot of different versions of it with different people in the diner, which are kind of fun. But the original painting, every single one of you has seen it. If you haven't, I don't know what you're doing with your life. So she's going to visit prostitute now because everyone has to go visit prostitute.
And John, that is the thing to do.
Is trying to. He's got that address from the phone book for the one man, Harris, that he is looking for. And this is Napoleon's Kingdom. And this is interesting. Matt, I think you're the one who brought up the fish earlier.
Yeah.
So we get kind of we'll revisit that a little bit here. This is just bizarre. It's a strange looking thing. So she's going to see. There's a juxtaposition here as well, where she's looking for prostitute, and John is looking for Mr. Harris.
For man.
So he's in here. He breaks in because apparently I'd be willing to bet Neptune's Kingdom never opens. And you go inside, and everything. The fish lighting again is the brightest thing in the movie. That all the aquariums look like aquariums. They're the only thing that look like a normal, a normal thing as far as the
Where did they get all the fish?
Where and why is there no purple water?
Exactly the real question.
You have too many questions. So she's in prostitute's apartment, and prostitute is dead.
Ooh.
And it's that same spiral pattern.
Saw.
What a waste.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking the whole time, 70s.
Poor prostitutes.
Come on.
So she gets grabbed, and you don't know who's grabbing her. And it turns out to be Inspector Bumstead with a stupid name. She's like, Inspector Stupid Name, what are you doing here? He's like, I thought you might show up. I was looking for him too.
So Roman, tell us, how do you really feel about his name?
Inspector, he should have been called Inspector Asshouse.
Yeah.
That is well played, sir. That is well played.
Yep.
Well done.
Hence, he shall be known as Inspector Asshouse.
Inspector Asshouse.
So now, this is Uncle. What's his name? Carl, right?
Carl's my name.
So,
Carl Jr.
Carl's in a wheelchair, and he pops out, and he's like, "Hey!" And he's like, Johnny, it's been so long." And of course, John Murdoch has no idea who the fuck this is, except, he has a card, and he knows he's supposed to be there.
So, if you guys, I don't know if you took a good look at the symbol last time. If you're a Naruto fan, you know that the swirl is the symbol of the Uzumaki clan, and what it means is whirlpool. So the symbol is another connection to water, beaches. That's constantly.
Okay.
Got it. I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I don't even like. I watched. So this is the first time I watched this film for this in probably 10 years, right? And so I'm watching it. And I'm like, I didn't notice that last time. You know what I mean? And I'm like, these are one of those films that every time you watch it, like let's say hypothetically right now, I might read something entirely new I've never read before or watch a movie, and I'll go through it and I'm like, wait a minute, that could have been an influence too. You know what I mean? They drop so much stuff in this movie that like you don't even see it the first 3 or 4 times through.
Right.
Yeah.
This is an interesting piece of casting because this guy's called John Bluthal, and I remember him from my childhood being on a bunch of British comedy shows like the Spike Milligan Show and various other sitcoms. So it was kind of weird to see him pop up in this little, this sci-fi movie like this. He was very much a sort of sitcom guy,
That is interesting.
Yeah, he was in a lot of classic British sitcoms and sketch.
Alex Prince, he's not British, is he? Is he American? He's American, isn't he? Or is he? I don't know the answer to that.
You're not going to like this, Roman, but he was also in The Fifth Element.
Mother dick.
Wow.
Perfect movie. 10 out of 10.
It's over. It's over. The stream's over. We're done.
That's a fine
film. He did the fifth element just before this. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I like him. He's a great actor. He was great in the Spike Milligan Show in the 70s. He was funny guy. Oh, and he was in the return. He was in the Return of Captain Invincible.
Yep.
What a great movie! I love that movie.
I'm gonna watch that. I haven't seen that in years.
See, I am unfamiliar with that.
I
know that I'm probably getting
Christopher
demerits
Lee
for that.
sings yet again. Christopher Lee is in it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, I do like me some Christopher Lee.
Yeah. Anyway.
So they're looking at slides now of John as a child, of his dad, of Shell Beach, which is where John grew up. Huh.
Where did they get these images?
And he's like, he scribbled. You were always scribbling in that notebook, Johnny. Which will come up again in a little
Also,
bit.
the voices in my head tell me.
That's being your dad. And John's like, what the fuck is that on my arm? It's like, it's a scar from the fire. And he's like, huh? and he's showing his arm. He's like, he has no scar. So he's like, what does that mean? He's like, it's all bullshit. And he throws the slides on the floor, just making the poor old man sad.
Hey, just cleaned up the place.
Right.
That pissed me off too.
He spent 5 days organizing those slides in the correct order.
Chronological order.
But so now, and John, again, he's putting it together now based on conversations, whatever, that everything is fucking not real. He's offering her a glass of dirty, filthy fucking tap water.
from the prostitute's house.
From prostitute water. And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna call this in."
Forest water.
Calling in the
That water's a hoe.
oh.
Wow.
So while Ass House is calling in the number, she hears a noise in the room, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And of course, it's the little girl, the prostitute daughter, is
Who will
hiding
probably
under the
never
bed.
speak again.
No, I don't. She doesn't have any speaking parts in the movie anyway, which is probably best. And he's like, "Where the hell did she come from?" And she saw it all. Well, that's fucked up.
Too much trauma.
Right?
So she's been there for like 2 days, basically.
Yeah, under the bed.
Oh, well.
I don't know.
That's
As far as we know, remember, time is very confusing.
Yeah.
I don't know how long everybody's awake. I don't really understand. And that's what actually John asks Carl the same question. He's like, "Do you remember it being daylight ever?" He's like, "I've been up for hours. I haven't seen the sun."
Yeah.
And he's like, and I don't mean some vague memory of daylight. I'm like, why have we never seen that? He's like, "Oh, you're tired." Just trying to, that mental, it's probably programmed into them not to
And
question it
yet
too much.
he knows what daylight is, though.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Right.
though
Yeah,
he probably hasn't seen it for decades, he knows what it
For
is.
however long, because we don't know how long any of these people have been here.
I would say the question I'd ask is who's been where they are longer, the guy in Groundhog Day or John in this movie?
Good
Yes.
point. And have they got no grocery stores? Is the automat the only place they can eat?
That is a good question.
Yeah.
Although, you saw the people with the soup, they got it somewhere.
Got it somewhere, yeah.
Well, they
That's true.
apparently use all
So
the
that means
light bulbs
there's-
sitting in the automat, so you'll be able to find the other grocery stores.
So this is a little bit weird. So he's giving her a ride home from prostitute's house, and he keeps the accordion in the back seat. And she's like, "Oh, it's lovely." He's like, "My mother gave it to me. It's very special, which is why I keep it with me to remind me of her." Which again is fucking weird. He's like, but then
He's
It's
a
like,
fan
I
of he's a fan of Lawrence Welk. Okay, come on.
Right.
But he says, "I can't remember when she gave it to me." He's like, why could I not remember such a key event? And she's like, "Fuck, I don't know, man." She got a stupid name. And so John's staying in his childhood room, which is actually kind of a fun room for a kid.
Is it his room though?
Well, it's
Really?
somebody's room. And they're rummaging around. Okay, this is just kind of generic shit. And then he finds his book that he was always
Handy
scribbling
dandy
in.
notebook.
But there's nothing in it. It's blank.
Thank you, Nas. I mean,
What
you,
did
you got that one.
So now we're back with the chittery chattery bug man. As we're they're planning what to do with John Murdoch. And he calls her apartment. And he's like, "She's here. He's here. He's
Very
here."
lucky
So-
that someone else with the same number didn't pick up. I mean, there's
Yeah, I
so
know.
many-
The limited amount of phone numbers in this universe, they got it. And then
The
John's
old
like, he's
one.
listening. He's like, "God damn it!" And Carl's like, "We were just trying to help you, Johnny. We were just trying to help you." All right. And so now they're going to try to go collect him where where he is right now. But is that where he's going to be? Again, you don't have a really good concept of how far anything is from anything else in the city.
Yeah.
John
Right.
takes a taxi once, but he's on foot for a lot of the time.
I wonder if what I'm trying to figure out, or what I was trying to figure out in this movie, is if these people age and die normally. Like, are they living normal human lifespans, or is there something
So-
else going on here?
The
How are they
impression that
reproducing?
I don't think they are. I think
Yeah.
so. This is me, and this is just my limited what I glean from it. That the people who are here, were like Dr. Schreiber. And I don't know if they or this is another thing I just thought of. Either they have all been there the same amount of time, however long that is, we don't know,
Yeah.
or they continually collect new people.
Is it 100? Yeah, I mean, have they been here for hundreds, possibly thousands of years? We don't know. And there's some kind of life extension going on as a result of the tuning.
I got the impression that the tuning maintains them like it maintains aliens.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
That for the most part they don't age. But what Schreiber did, he's kind of snuck Murdoch through, like he was behind the scenes. He was having him live lives where he was an out of the way character that these strangers didn't care about. So he found he had to say telepathic and telekinetic powers. So trying to train him in them and then keep resetting him to hide him, and
I think that
building,
I get,
maybe building the better human.
Well, then eventually the strangers are like, hey, let's use that guy over there as our Jack the Ripper, and Schreiber was like, oh my god, my plan's gonna blow up. So he sets this whole thing in motion by making sure the memory doesn't take.
Yeah, I think they're possibly hundreds, if not thousands, of years old, and this has been going on for a
very
long
long
time.
time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uncle Carl, it's been a long time.
Where's Carl's Jr.?
Parties.
Used to work there.
man.
Yeah. PTSD.
Okay, so now tuning time is coming, and everybody's out. Well, nearly everybody. Except, why do I hear the dog barking?
Bark, bark, bark.
So, oh Lord. Hey guys, can you guys give me a second? I gotta get
Sure.
something. I'll be right back though.
This pause is brought to you by our sponsors.
Wait, we have sponsors?
Yeah.
We've made it, y'all. We've made it.
The
Yes!
hotel.
I want my cut. How much do I get?
Our sponsors, Acme Scissors. Okay, when you need to scissor something,
Right.
buy us.
Brought to you by Scissoring.
Sponsored by Fuck Nothing, because that's what you get.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now it's time for Comedy Central to take center stage. This is what happens when Roman leaves. We all get to have the opportunity to just be funny.
Well, we
To
can
our
finally
viewers-
talk now. We can finally talk. That guy just won't shut up. I just
I'm trying to think how we can wreck the entire channel.
Let's talk about Fifth
Get him
Element.
demonetized before he's even
So
monetized.
I'll tell you my Kiefer Sutherland anecdotes. So when Kiefer Sutherland's stepdaughter got married back in the 90s, it was in Edinburgh where I lived at the time, Edinburgh in Scotland, and it was got married in the Royal Mile at the City Chambers, and he was there with his kilt on and all that. But I didn't meet him, but apparently one of my good friends worked at the hotel he stayed at. He said, what a guy. I mean, for one thing, he drank like it was going out of fashion. But on the day of his stepdaughter's wedding, he walked all the way up the Royal Mile in Edinburgh, the big cobbled street that goes up from Holyrood Palace to the castle, in his kilt, shaking hands with everybody in the street, stopping in bars and having pubs and having a drink, and then get out. And he was pressing the flesh with everybody. He was Mr. Personality. Like,
Wow.
and the
Sounds like my man.
picture that I've put in the private chat shows he's looking pretty disheveled by the time he gets to the wedding. But apparently the greatest guy, just like a load of laughs, and he couldn't do enough for everybody that he bumped into in the street. He got tons of photographs and chatting to people and whatever. So
That's a cool guy.
yeah, he's a cool guy. Yeah, everyone had nothing but good things to say about him, including my buddy that met him a few times in the hotel. And he said, yeah, he was a good bloke.
So what kind of tweet has he got on there?
Oh God! Well, Sutherland is an actual clan, so I'm assuming that's what he's wearing is a Sutherland tartan. But look at his hair, looking pretty disheveled.
Oh yeah.
This was after 4 or 5 hours of walking up the high street, going to the pubs, whatever.
So are Kiefer and his dad the best father-son or parent-child acting combo?
That's a
Like,
good point.
accomplishment? Anyone
Think
anyone-
of-
I mean, you
Trying to
got
think
Michael and Kirk.
Yeah, you got Kirk and Michael.
You got the Skarsgårds.
Yeah,
Oh,
all 18
wow.
of them. All 18 of them.
Yeah, well, there's 18 of those. The Baldwin and Scardells don't count. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
Fowler.
To answer your
Fowler
question
song.
there, Boosh, it's Scotland. So, and it's Edinburgh.
Yeah.
So,
I think-
how many
So
bars
in-
are there in a mile?
Well, you-
Technically every shop is a bar in Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to go from the bottom of the Royal Mile to the top, which is literally a mile, without branching off into any of the hundreds of side streets, you'd probably have about 30 bars.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a
The city
pub
on
crawl
the-
there.
plus the whiskey,
Right?
plus the whiskey museum at the very top of the Royal Mile.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Oh.
The city on the earth with the most bars per square foot is Hoboken, New Jersey.
Oh yeah, I can believe that.
Makes
I can
sense.
believe that.
Makes
But yeah,
sense.
I mean, it's
'cause they
he was
live in-
having a rare old time.
The city on the earth with the most people per square foot is right next door. It's Union City, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So,
Really?
Yeah.
I figured it would be someplace in India or something.
No, it's because it's Union City is very tiny and has a very high population relative to it. It's like most of New Jersey doesn't have a lot of skyscrapers. Union City in the olden days was like up. They would build like 10-story apartment buildings, where like in Jersey they'd build a house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of tenements and stuff like that back in the day.
So, for Ego, this is your first time seeing this movie, right?
Relatively, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So at this point in the movie, did you already have like a good kind of what was going on, or?
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. No, but I'm glad I didn't, and that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
makes me upset thinking about the Matrix. Is like I have to. It's like they didn't feel the audience would be intelligent enough to kind of put things together. So they kind of stuck Morpheus in there to like ask the questions for the audience and kind of be the
Gotcha.
audience at the same time. So it's like, this movie reminded me of that. I think it was that 5 to 6 year period of mystery movies that were kind of shrouded in sci-fi or horror, like Event Horizon, The 13th Floor, in the Mount of Madness. It was just as much as a mystery as it was trying to figure out what was actually going on. And I actually really enjoy mysteries and not being told what's happening.
Yeah.
And kind of just figuring things out with the main character. It's like, well, hey, the main character could be me because he doesn't know anything that I would know going in. So I actually like the fact that I didn't know what exactly was happening even at this point in the movie.
I hate being treated like a child when I'm going to the movies.
I do not like that either. It bothers me, and that's why I'm just like, you know what? It's like they watched Dark City and they were like, it'd be great if we had someone tell them what's happening as it's happening, and then instead of telekinesis, we just put guns, because even the guns effect looked like the telekinesis in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that's what.
Well, if you want to think of it this way, you call the Matrix. You can say, merging Dark City and Equilibrium.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a great movie.
Right. Yeah, it was great. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Equilibrium's a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another movie that kind of gives me vibe. Well, it's not like on the with aliens and stuff, but like the whole setting and color scheme, and with Gattaca. I love Gattaca.
Yeah, Gattaca's great.
Yeah. So
Love
like
that movie.
Which one?
Gattaca.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually very surprised and very glad they haven't tried to remake that.
Yeah, they don't need to.
They
Yeah.
don't.
Well,
Although,
the nightmare is that that Proyas is trying to make a Dark City TV show, and I don't want to. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah, this doesn't need a sequel. It just leave it alone. It's good how it is.
I don't want to
It's
see
the
anything in this era.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Fucking muted this whole fucking time. I was saying.
Roman, we knew, but we weren't going to say anything.
Look, his fucking mouth is still moving. He just fucking won't shut the fuck up.
I thought you were listening attentively to what we were saying.
It was nice to have
Mrs. Vampire
some
was
quiet
yelling
there
at you.
for a while. Ugh.
That's the best you've been in the whole show. It's great.
Yeah, I fucking laughed the old guy. So during this scene, he's being pursued by the fucking strangers, and the city's transforming. what I liked about this scene, this is another callback to not the Matrix. You shut your dirty Canadian mouth, Zax. Please tell me that's not true.
Yeah, this doesn't exist.
What did he say?
A Gattaca
Was that-
remake.
No, never. Don't do it.
Don't
Never,
let
ever,
it happen.
ever do it.
Don't need it.
No.
Just to calm people down. Technically, there's always something in development. I mean,
Right.
True.
That's true.
True. So this is another throwback to The Crow as far as visually goes.
Mhm.
When John is running across the
rooftops.
rooftops, jumping,
Yep.
I'm because I hadn't seen this movie in fucking probably shit. What year is it?
2020.
So I probably hadn't seen it since the 90s. When did I get my Blu-ray player? Whenever I got my Blu-ray player, I bought this on Blu-ray. So whenever Blu-ray came out is when I fucking watched this movie the last time.
would this year be the 25th anniversary of this movie?
25th, yeah, 25th.
25th, yeah.
Yeah.
Good time.
And I don't have the director's cut though. I have the regular one, and I hadn't watched. I mean, I bought it up because it was like one of those movies you need to have on Blu-ray. So I bought it because I love the fucking movie anyway. But anyway, this scene fucking of him running, I'm like, oh, because I just watched it again for the first time, for in a very long. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, man. So, but Mr. Hand, he does this levitation deal, and he stops. He's like, well, you can run all you want, fucking fuckface. I can fly. And he goes all knifey on him and shit. This is like one of the few where he actually does the exposition and lets him know what the fuck is going on. When he pins him here, he's like, you know what's going on, yes? We're studying you. We're dying off, yes? We occupy the shells of your dead as vessels.
That's not creepy at all.
No, it's good. It's a lovely conversation. But that is where you get, that they're dying off. They're studying the humans to try to figure out how to be like them. This is where you finally get all this stuff. And it's only in this, 30-second conversation he has with Mr. Hand while he's trying to fucking knife him. Their species is dying off. They're trying to figure out what it is that makes a human so that they can become individuals. It's just like, okay, got it. That was nice. And they didn't beat you over the brow with it. So you didn't, it wasn't unnecessary exposition. It was fine. But other movies you were talking about, The Matrix, where you did get a lot more. The Morpheus scene where he does the whole visuals of, we broke the sky and blah, 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 blah. That was your audience is stupid. This movie didn't treat you that way. That's why I was happy with the director's cut that they took that narrative out. The narrative gave you too much information. And that's what Alex Proyas felt the same way. And again, the movie was a flop in theater, so it's not like, oh man, I saw it in the theaters, I got gypped. The 4 fucking people who saw it, me being one of them, it was fine. But the director's cut, I think some of the visual effects don't seem to be quite awesome, and we'll get there. The ones that we've seen so far, I think I'm fine. It's at the very end that you get kind of the wonky ones, but it's so worth it to get the stuff that you do get from this director's version. Not all director's cuts are better. I think this one is, though. Anyway,
by the way, I kind of just noticed this. I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but the Stranger's dagger is all like mini versions of the Kurgan sword from Highlander.
Oh, with the opening up blade.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, they all have the same hairstyle.
Yeah. They're all the Kurgan.
They all go to the same barber.
And he also tells him that he has his memories at this point as well. Visions of the beach, yes. The water, yes. We don't like the water ourselves. It's because they don't, for whatever reason, the electric bugs don't like moisture, and they're living in dried out corpses. I don't know if that has an effect.
Exactly, they're 70% water.
Perhaps they've got rabies.
Yeah. Rabies water.
Again, I don't know if this is direct or not, but if you look at the imagery they're presenting, they look like for example, Nosferatu. Vampires can't cross running water. They all have pointy teeth. They're all bald. They're all anemic looking. So there's a vampire.
No, that's not anything against you if you're still with us, buddy.
No.
Those motherfuckers. I'm going to the fucking show.
Even
insults.
The redness around the eyes is again an anemic thing with vampire looking.
Well, they are all corpses. They are dead, just like vampires. So.
Yeah.
Very true.
So at this point, the buildings are changing, but the problem is John's fucking putting off some vibes, and shit is not going the way it's supposed to. And these buildings are about to fucking smash into each other. That shit doesn't happen normally. And poor Mr. whatever the fuck his name is, his coat gets stuck, which seems like it's like, really, this is how you go?
Yeah, come on, man.
They're so individual. They're such a hive mind. They don't know how to take off the coat as an individual.
Exactly.
And he gets squashed like a bug, and it's adorable.
Mr. Squash.
So John opens the door into nothing because things have been shifting, and he falls out. And this is where that little motherfucker pops up.
Fights him.
Creepy.
Yeet him outside of the
Evil.
It's like a little beaver.
Wait, what? Hang on a sec. I missed something here, Boosh.
It's the one, the panelist screen back.
Wait, what? What does that mean?
The guy when he's got Mr. Hand in a chokehold looks like his penis has a face.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I drank too much. So weird little fucking zombie kids gnawing on his paw, and I don't know why they had him do this. I guess to be extra creepy, because he could have taken a knife and sawed off his fingers, and it would have solved this problem. But John sees the chimney is coming up on the other side and drops down. He's like, "Well, fuck this."
Chimney.
Step in time.
So now the little fellas are all chitter chattering away down here because they're like, "What in the fuck, dude? We didn't plan on this shit."
Sax powder.
We didn't chitter for this.
Powder. Very different film by a very different director. I love the look on his face here though, because he's following John. He's like, I know where you're going to go, because he's got his super memories.
And this lighting makes him look a lot more human, though.
It does. Yeah, they must have. Yeah, it's not that green, pale looking stuff.
Right.
Well, he's the closest to experiencing humanity of any of them.
True.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to express with that lighting there.
Right, is that he's becoming more human with the memories.
Yep. Yep.
And here we have Bruce Spence, the tall one. Sleep. He's trying to do the sleep thing again, and because Detective Assman and Emma showed up.
Assface.
Detective Assface. Bumstead is such a terrible name. Which I don't know how they knew where John was going to pop up, but plot device they did. So he hops into the car. He's trying to do the sleep thing, and he's just getting totally fucking fuck off from John's vibes, and that's what he's thinking right now. I'm like, fuck off. That again, nice visual here though. As they're driving away, this is what's in the fucking rear view.
Run over the child.
You get the weird, fucking, the creepy kid, the tall one, and Mr. Hand. Man, that looks like fucking.
That looks like the cover for like the Exorcist, like the
same lighting scheme.
Yeah,
same lighting scheme.
Yeah, little creepy demon.
So I love that stuff. So now he's in custody, which doesn't seem like it was the best move for Bumstead. So everything's going fucking haywire. So you arrest him.
That's how.
Fucking stupid though. So he's asking him questions. He's not liking the answers because it's challenging his reality.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he knows things are coming unraveled, which is probably why he's so uncomfortable with it. Because whatever their programming is, because they all are supposed to have it, it's definitely fighting that fucking programming. And now he's got that book that has all the drawings in, or that was supposed to be empty, that he was scribbled in when he was a kid, but there was nothing in it. But now it's full of drawings. And he's like, but it was empty. How did this happen? Whatever. And then he asks, he's like, can I ask you a question? How do you get to Shell Beach? He's like, of course I know where to go. And then he starts telling me, he's like, you can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
It's
like, near Echo, because it's near Echo Beach. It's far away in town.
And he's basically telling him, you're this isn't, none of this can be real. There has to be an explanation. And he's over fucking off at the window. Then John starts levitating the book, which I thought was okay, but and he's like, explain this. He's like, fuck, I can't explain that. And I'm going to lock you up anyway.
He would have been more impressed if he could have made all of Jennifer Connelly's clothes fall off from a distance. That would have been impressive.
Like, what's his face? Patrick Stewart and Extras.
That's right, yes. That, and then Bumstead, Ass House would have been right. I'm with you. Got it.
So now Emma comes to visit him at the classic prison phone things. And he's trying to tell her, that these memories aren't real. This is we weren't these people a couple days ago. She's like, but I love you. You can't fake that.
And remember your very tiny penis.
And a tear runs down her cheek as she says it.
I remember there's 38 seconds. They were the best in my life.
The best 38 seconds of my life.
I remember I loved you. Well, it banged another man.
So he's like, he obviously has a sense that he can do these things now because he reaches through the glass and makes it break with his vibrating hand.
Now that I remember. That's right, kiss me, baby. I remember that.
And why the fuck did that come up? Oh, that was me taking a bad picture. So that's what's on my computer.
Did you take these manually?
I did all these 730 some odd slides, man.
I will show you how to do it automatically.
Good point.
There's a way.
There's a way to do it. Yes, we will talk.
But then I won't waste hours and hours of my life.
So I mean, it's great if you want to watch the movie while you're doing it, I suppose.
I don't. I don't so much. I hated it so much. So actually, it was fine. It let me experience the movie again, so I could have some talking points at least. What is America saying down here?
I want to hear it. Actually,
resist urge to make joke about. Okay, that shit. So again, back to Shell Beach. He wants to tell him that that the detective
Eminem.
I was gonna say Skittles, but okay.
Wow. Nice.
That the other detective killed himself. He thought he should know. And he's barely paying attention. He's just looking at the Shell Beach picture and the book that was levitating. He's like, this is just so fucking weird, man.
So can I just remind me who wrote the Shell Beach book in reality? Who wrote the scrapbook?
Probably the creepy kid.
Yeah. Oh, nobody.
That's
it was
what
blank. John filled it in with his what he thought should be in the book.
Mind. Okay, that's it. Yeah. I couldn't remember.
That's how I do it too.
Yeah.
So now his shoe is untied, meaning he's so attention to detail driven that his shoe being untied is kind of a big deal. Also, I really like his fucking shoes.
They're nice.
They're shiny.
So now the strangers are at the police station doing the sleep deal, knocking out the boys. I think there's only like 7 policemen in the town as well. That's certainly what it looks like. But given that they are asleep for most of the time, you don't need that many. So Bumstead grabs the keys with a clever, nonchalant move because that's where you keep the keys, just on a hook in the police station, by the way.
Right.
And this is the chief, and he's like, ass man, I was waiting to talk to you about the
Ass house. Ass man's the other detective. He's ass
Who's the actor that plays the police chief?
He looks fucking familiar, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he does look familiar. Yeah.
Like now that he's older, he's been in something recently.
Frank Gallagher, who's Scottish as well.
Really?
Yeah.
It's Scottish. It's crap.
If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
Heard that probably a couple
I'm trying to
times.
think of what he might have been in, but
Yeah, that old skit. This is the ocean. This is Ireland. This is Scotland. There's water in between. They're not the same.
He was in the prison. He was in the prisoner.
yeah, I can't think of anything. Other
All
than
right.
that,
Well, fair enough, but he does look familiar to everybody.
He
so
does look
clearly
vaguely
that's shit we
familiar.
know. So Mr. Hand and the boys show up. He'll take us to Don.
Is that their name of the band?
That sounds so wrong.
Mr. Hand and the boys.
The little guy plays
Yeah,
keys. That's the bass player. The guy in the back. is
Look
the
how they're
drummer.
lined up by height.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
they're gonna fall prey to an auto-tune scam.
We
Turns
are
out they
here
weren't
to
really
kill
doing
you. Sleep.
It's gonna be the name of their album is Sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah, sweet.
You turn on, you're like, so John is gone. The cell is empty. Oh no. Where could they have gone? And he just slashes his throat though, like a dick.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
Yeah,
he's
man.
a fucking serial killer. Wait. And so now John goes. I guess Dr. Schreiber just hangs out at the pool like a fucking weirdo, like a turkey
That's
fan.
not a
okay.
pool. That's a bathhouse.
It's a Turkish
Real
bathhouse.
business
That's
takes
bathhouse.
place.
Yeah.
So he's like, now they're finally
a
having a more legitimate
bathhouse.
conversation about how John was never, his memories. You were never a boy in this world. So that's what led me to believe that how old they are. Like I said, they were pulled out at wherever stage they were at now from whatever town they were in.
Well,
and then
indeed, and that part of it doesn't quite get explained ever either.
no, it doesn't. And it's fine though. You don't need it.
Yeah,
It
you
allows
don't
you
need
to speculate and let your mind wander with it. And I think that's good.
Yeah,
Unlike the Matrix, which gives you the kind of play-by-play, this doesn't really do that, and I like that. And
Makes
Schreiber
you
does
have
kind
to
of
think harder about it.
Yes.
He lets him know, he had because of his abilities as a scientist, he understood the human mind better than they did.
He was the artist. He was the artist
Yes.
for their painting of the human mind.
Yes, but the only thing they allowed him to keep were those skills, and he was forced to forget everything else. And that he's like, can you imagine that? And so he pulls out another one of those syringes, and he's like, hey, you need to fucking inject this. I don't have time to do this the right way, but just fucking do it. So again, at this point, you don't know, is he trying to help, or is he just trying to work a scam so the bald dudes don't kill him? At this point, I still wasn't sure.
By the way, I think Schreiber knew he didn't want him to take it and then. I think he set the whole end scenario up.
Possible.
Because he
I got that feeling
with
I
the
agree with
machine
you.
all opened up for him to do what he did.
Yeah, I agree. He's been plotting this for a while.
I can see that.
He wants to bring down the people that are controlling him. Yeah.
It made me wonder, Brian. Like I said, I mentioned it just kind of briefly earlier. Has he been actually, during the course of their existence here, we don't know how long that is, been slowly shaping John Murdoch?
I think so.
Just a little nudge here, a little nudge there, just under the radar.
John is his weapon to bring this thing down.
Yeah.
Because he's not got the whatever to do it. Yeah.
I told you
just under the radar of the strangers, so that they don't know until it really comes to a head and it's too late. So he has Bumstead with him, and
Ass House.
Detective Ass House. I apologize. And they're like, yeah, we're going to Shell Beach. Yeah, that's where you want to go, right? Because they want to see where the fuck is this magic Shell Beach. And he borrows these syringes. He's like, I'll hang on to this, for later, doctor. Thanks. Pay attention. I'm putting it in my coat. You're putting it in your coat. Let's go to Shell Beach.
And
I'll go.
I think he looked at him funny because he was like, why would you stick that in your coat? And I think it's because Schreiber programmed him to do that.
Right.
Just the whole setup.
Possibly.
So they're singing songs. They're on the way to Shell Beach. Schreiber's like, I'm not going to fucking help you, dude. What? Why am I helping you? I don't want to fucking help you. And because the map isn't.
He's
accurate.
playing hard to get. That's all.
Playing hard to get. Because he wants Mr. Hand to come and get him and grab him.
He has to make them do it themselves.
Yeah,
I think.
But now John is stretching his legs a little bit because he knows he has a power and he uses it on the dock. He's like, you don't want to help? Fine, fuck off. And he does this whole jitter jatter in his head. He's like, you want to rethink that, Doc?
If you don't help me, I'll turn you into a Canadian.
With the healthcare included.
Oh God, no.
This is the sad part. I didn't like it. I didn't like what they did to her. It's not like I didn't like what the plot, but I didn't like what they did to her here. So she comes home, and her apartment's empty. Mr. Tall Man is there, and he calls her Anna, and she's like, "That's not my name." And he's like, "Oh, no, it will be."
Well, not yet.
It will be.
You will be.
So they're getting ready to go for
You will
a small
be.
boat ride because there's supposed to be a bridge here, but everything's gone. And these are like ruins. These are like old parts of the city.
This
Which
bit was
again, the look is
great.
really cool.
I love this. Yeah. Like
It's like old forgotten bits. No one has been here in obviously a very, very long time. Not even the strangers.
And isn't it the case that later when we see the city from outside, you see bits falling off, like it's kind of crumbling a bit in the edges. And,
Oh, and the edges could very well be. It's the parts that they don't think about, that they don't use anymore, just fall over.
All this stuff's just lying,
Well, I think
rusting. Yeah.
any garbagey stuff, they just let go because they could just
Yep.
you know?
Yes.
Oh, this is where he's telling him. Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of jumped ahead. This is where he's telling him about his power, about his skill to create wall that they are trying to figure out what to do next. And Mr. Hand figures it out though. He's like, I need her, about where they're going to go next. Oh, look at that
Child that you need to punt.
Crazy.
Little prick.
That was Dead Prostitute number 1 as far as chronology goes for us, by the way. When they were creating the scene, when they were creating the serial killer, they had to build the world for the serial killer to occupy, and that's what they were doing. And that's what he's putting him in the tub. He's about to give him the shot. And Rutrow, John woke up and I didn't get it when he's flinging the shot away. As soon as he puts it in his head, it's like falls to the floor and breaks. And Doc scrambles out of there. Talking about I did get. Well, I barely got it. I tried to get it. And he knocks the light with his hand. And that's when you come in immediately after this. The beginning of the movie is immediately after this scene where the light is still moving.
Okay.
Now we're down with the chitter chatters again. Everything's going fucko with the tuning. And yeah, this is it. This is when he's talking about this is when he had to erase his own memory. And you'd think, as talented as he is, he might have figured out a way around that shit.
See,
Exactly.
I was thinking about that. Part of me was thinking that the parts of himself he injected into John were his memories or were his personality before he had to delete himself.
Something.
Probably.
That's a good point.
You had to have known that if they let you do this, they were going to try to take something for you. I think he would have been smart enough to just at least put pieces of himself someplace.
Right. That dude looks like a Borg.
Yep.
He does.
Well,
the guy behind him
I always
looks like a Borg.
figured he was taking before he could, in other words, taking pieces of his memory out and isolate him into that secret formula that he gave to John.
Okay. I get that.
He was using John like a Horcrux.
Yeah, that's actually that's pretty good. So now he's injecting himself with the thing, and he's forgetting who he is, supposedly.
By the way,
this is where John but the Shell Beach guy that had nothing in it, and that's where he tells him, yeah, you fucking filled that shit in with your brain, dude. Okay, all right, I'll go. And then Doc's again trying to not go any further. He's like, you don't need me from this point. You don't need me. And they're like, come on, Doc. And they open the door, and right here, you don't know. You see them open the door to blue sky.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh wow. And then immediately it falls apart. It's just a fucking big poster on a fucking wall.
Yeah. It's quite clever. Yeah.
Fuck. It is. It was like, wow, that's a it's not saying you're subverting expectations, but it really kind of it gave you a gut punch because you're like, what the fuck? This is it?
Yeah.
Now
and
this
then
next
in
part,
the next scene.
I did not, when I saw this the first time, I did not see this shit coming. Because there's like, what the fuck? And John just starts ripping at it, and there's a wall. And Doc's like, no!
Don't
Don't
do
do
it.
it.
Don't
Now,
do it.
conveniently, there's a couple of sledgehammers in the room.
Don't
Right, I
touch
was like,
them.
where does
Yeah.
the
Hey,
sledgehammer come
hey,
from?
he probably made those appear with his magic.
That's what
Oh,
I was thinking.
yeah.
James, I was thinking the same thing, and
Yeah.
that's what I was going to ask panel and
Or he
chat.
could have just broken down the wall with it, but I don't know.
Mm.
Sledgehammers are cooler.
Were those
True.
fucking hammers there though? Because that's kind of an odd thing to just be sitting around in a room that shouldn't even really exist.
Indeed. Because the sledgehammer's just lying around everywhere, isn't there?
Well, I mean, they are at my house, but we do some shit here.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Kinky.
Everyone should have one.
Yeah. So when I first saw this and they were busting it open, I thought they were going to see thousands and thousands and thousands of those stranger guys sitting in like bleachers just watching them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like the
God, that
Truman
would've been
Show.
good.
That would have been creepy.
Well, like that Star Trek episode, do you remember?
Mm.
Or
The
Hell, that went go back. There's a Twilight Zone episode like that too. From years
or
ago.
kind of a really creepy.
You remember when they were trying to get sickness from Kirk and because the people were immortal and they had the woman trying to seduce Kirk to get all the diseases, and when it turned out we looked, all the immortal people were stacked right outside the set watching them.
Mm.
You know?
Spooky.
Interesting.
Lots of nose, digging at the wall, and boom.
Face.
Mhm.
Is that
That
fucking
was
space?
Space. It's the
That
final
is in fact
frontier.
Yeah.
fucking space.
No wonder it's dark.
You're
You're in interstellar space.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that just blew my mind when I saw it the first time. I was
That
like,
was,
holy
yeah.
fuck.
I really hate what happens to Detective Asshat.
I know, I feel
Ass
bad.
house.
Ass house.
House.
Ass hat's
Sorry.
a different guy.
Asshat's fine, too.
Oh, it's
That's
very
ass hat. Here,
Lovecraftian,
That's
though.
ass hat. That's
Fish
ass
the
hat.
theme, fish the theme.
So Mr. Hand and cohorts show up, and they're like, all right, okay,
It's a
fun,
bummer for
fun for
Bumstead.
all. Time,
You got
time
us.
to pack it up.
You got this.
And then Detective Asshouse just gets yeeted.
Mm.
But he takes one
Yeah,
with him.
because he's taking shots at him. I think he actually
Yeah.
kills one of them,
You
and
don't
Yeah.
have
then
He does. He gets one of
he
them.
gets in a tussle with unnamed Mr. whatever the fuck his name is, and they go through
That's
the
Mr.
fucking
Space.
they go through the force field,
Yeah.
and they just drift off.
Mr. Flush.
Right.
That's not how the Force
But they brought Emma with them. They have leverage.
Anna.
Yes.
Me, Brett.
Not yet.
Anna
She's still.
Emma?
I
Or,
think she's still
We're
Emma
going
at this
Anna.
point.
Or she's not Anna yet. We're going to leverage her.
And there he goes through the force field into fucking space and fucking frozen.
Frozen
dead guy.
and yeah.
Right out. Right.
Corpsicle.
And this is where we
And
get to
this
look at the
is-
city, though. We
Yeah.
realize exactly what the fuck we're looking at. It's the scope of it.
Right.
And that's where you start wondering, where did that come from? Was it cut out of a part of the earth?
Right.
Is it even
Asgard.
human? Yeah.
I don't think it is, Brian. I think they actually built every bit of the city from memories,
stole
from all the
human-
memories of all the people.
But they took the people, they built this separately, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because they remember the doctor said at first there was darkness, and then there was
They
the
are,
city.
they are humans.
Well, they pretty clearly got the matter from energy part of the science down.
Yes.
So,
Hmm.
you know,
I'm floating
Man, we ain't got that
away.
dirty.
my
John's
God,
like,
full
"Ah,
stars.
So he's asking Mr. Hand. He's like, I'm not gonna fucking do what you want. Mr. Hand's like, well, I'm just going to fucking kill her then, John, And-
the killer, John.
because he has the memories. Because he's like, I have the memories you were supposed to have. I'm the man you were supposed to be. The fucking killer. And
Then
John
I-
finally, he's like, okay, fine, fuck it, sleep.
Then I'm going to return to transsexual Transylvania.
I'm the trans of the
Yes.
trans of the trannies.
Take a little step to your right.
And then John collapses like a bag of potatoes. And I think it's interesting that I guess he had to just allow himself to have that happen.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
told him he had to let himself go.
And now he's on the railway in the weird, underworld.
Whee! I feel like that could be like
Sleep.
a roller coaster ride.
It does. It looks like a bad part of Disneyland.
It's a
So
new
now they got him
Disneyland, yeah.
strapped to that table because they're
They're all
going to
bad.
rewrite
Very
his. They're going to basically they want to take his memories. They want this guy. They want this version of him. They're going to imprint their collective into him, and thus become him. Is what I
Yes.
got from that.
Therefore,
Yes?
live. They
Right.
will
Yeah.
live.
Yes.
Which is a little bit weird. It's a kind of it's a strange concept.
That's
So
a
their
lot of
collective memory will go into him, and then they will. What will that do to them? That transforms them somehow because it is their collective memory.
Well, think of it this way: they're taking
Sybil.
if they're a hard drive, right? They're taking the data on their hard drive and putting it on his, so they'll be able to live in his device as opposed to their failing device.
Their collective
Right.
ego will become an individual, and they'll all survive.
Yeah.
That was weird.
But then, in theory, they can use him to imprint if they want to be individuals, further individuals on other humans, like with technology.
Right, and they're all chitter chattering away with this shit. I need to pause.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, that's true.
Anderson.
Yeah, all the Smiths. The Borg guy, nice. He has evolved, and then that's it. Then now they made the decision.
Yeah. Now when they
Kill
say he
him!
has the-
Yeah, the
they
little
had-
fucker wants to kill him first. Kill him! And then they all start shouting it because I guess they're all that bug people mind.
when they say the line "he has evolved," that like the word evolved evolution to me implies a long ass time. So
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. He's been there that fucking. Well, he
True.
does. You know what?
Yeah.
But when he's talking to no, when Mr. Book was talking to the doctor earlier in the film, though, when he was doing the memory thing, he said it would take several thousand of your lifetimes to become like us,
right.
something to that effect. So
Well,
what does
look
that mean? I don't really know. There is a lot of ambiguity here where you just
Look at it
don't
this
so.
way: if they've taken these people from Earth, let's say they are Earth humans, so they've taken them from Earth, and they're now in interstellar space.
Mhm.
How many hundreds or thousands of years may it have taken them to get there? Because
Right.
they haven't broken the laws of physics with faster than light travel or warp drives or any of that. I'm assuming they haven't, and they're traveling at certain speed, but not that fast. So therefore, they could have been out there for thousands of years.
One
Maybe
thing,
And we
even
don't.
tens of
We have no.
thousands.
Yeah, because we have no concept of where they are. In
Yeah,
space.
exactly.
There's
It could have
no
been
concept of time in this movie.
no.
There is.
There's no reference. There's no reference.
one thing to
time at all.
consider is they said it would take, 1,000 years or whatever, 1,000 lifetimes, generations. But if they're changing people's memories and adjusting things like every 24 hours, they're accelerating the process exponentially.
That's true.
So
Well, I mean that's assuming that clock to when they tune is a 24-hour clock.
Yeah.
because
Yeah, we don't. We have no
because-
idea.
Yeah.
because for all we know, the hour hand can just stay at 12 and it just goes.
Well, no,
every hour.
you made a big assumption there, Joker. It's a 12-hour clock, not a 24-hour clock. So they're resetting them every 12 hours, but there's no daytime.
It might be, yeah.
But now he's saying, "Shut it down! Shut it down forever!"
Right. So it's gonna kill the whole human.
Yeah, they don't need anybody else. They only need him.
Yeah.
They got poor Doc in a cage.
Hmm.
They're putting that lovely strap on so you don't miss the hole.
That's what
Good
they all say.
guidance system. Sometimes it's necessary.
And Mr. Hand is there to grab.
With the help of Mr. Hand.
So Doc knows what's up. He's like, and he tells him, he's like, "I'm sorry, this, I'm going to give you this shot. And it's going to give you all the tools you need." And he does the old switcheroo. Imprint him. All right. And he gives him the shot, and then you get this
That
kind of
was
cool
really cool.
montage
Really cool.
of
This
all
is
the
his-
memories
Yeah.
where Doc
And-
I bet,
Right, and the doctor
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
and the doctor has inserted himself into every memory to kind of guide him along.
Yep, all his important memories, he's there, teaching him, guiding him, because he makes a statement. I bet you're wondering why I'm in all your fucking memories. You're gonna go far, Johnny.
Don't
That's
talk
the
to
way
strangers.
play.
They've got all
Yeah,
the
don't talk to
memory.
strangers. Yeah.
They've got
That's
all
a
the
good line.
doctor's memories of watching, Pornhub and.
It was me, Johnny.
He and Mr. Hand got well
Mr.
acquainted.
Hand, he's Mr. Two Hand.
Ambidextrous.
Oh my.
Oh my.
That almost looked like Kiva from Lost Boys in that one scene.
A little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is
That one-
probably
yeah.
my favorite movie that he was in.
Oh, I love Lost Boys.
Yeah, Lost Boys is great. Hey,
And he's
Carl.
just going through all the things that he, teaching him the magic tricks. Now he can fly. All the
Where was
stuff.
Young Guns in this? Come on now.
And he's showing him the machine. This is the
Yeah,
machine.
can't he have
This is
taught
how
him
they
how
do
to
shit.
build? Could he have taught him to how to instantly build a portable laser cannon?
Thanks.
That would have been.
Just do this. It'll end this thing so much faster.
Today's a good day to die.
And Mr. Hand's like, something's wrong.
Right.
And Doc's like,
Something's
what are
wrong.
you talking about, man?
Mhm.
Don't be a bit. And then they grab it and they're like, oh, he did the switcheroo. The old switcheroo.
Oh no!
He knows.
I love you, Emma. I love you too, John.
No time for romance,
No
Johnny.
driver romance, John.
Now we're in boss mode.
Yeah, and then he just spins right back up.
Yep.
The thing melts behind him.
I have unlocked God mode.
Little
I know.
morph there. And he just starts moving shit around. Now, I am going to admit, this is my least favorite scene in the movie.
Great.
Hmm.
Because it's
Those are
telekinesis war, and you can't really.
I didn't really like telekinesis war.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's just bringing shit down all around him. And of
That's why I
course,
wanted a portable laser cannon.
it goes
I
him
loved
against Mr. Book. What I would have liked to have seen, and I know this is going to sound stupid, but basically they're just ineffectual against him, and he's just like, okay, whatever, and he just makes them either non-existent or irrelevant. Instead of the battle royale that we get at the end, where they are just basically slugging it out, which is kind of standard trope because it just is. I think that would have been. You don't get the big back and forth, but I don't think you need it. I mean, it's fine. It's not terrible by any means, but it is my least favorite part of the movie because it is the most standard part of the movie.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Staring at each other.
Yeah, making the big ball of energy. All
Steering
right, all
thing.
right.
Yes.
They fly. Shit
Steer
breaking
hard.
everywhere.
It's not die hard. It's steer hard. Steer hard.
Stare hard.
They're
Stare-
hard.
With Mr.
Stare harder.
Hand.
And this is he throws a knife at John, and John makes the knife go back at him. Okay, and then it hits him, and then he flies into a water tower, and it explodes. All right, and then he ends up on a broken piece of metal. Like I said, is it terrible? No, but I did find it.
Anticlimactic. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it was just standard,
Yeah.
and this is the bad effect I was talking about. I don't
Yeah, yeah,
remember if this
yeah.
was in the original film or not, or if it was just Mr. Book
Don't
dying.
know. I don't recall that.
Yeah, because it looks like it was just someone scribbling on the film, making a funny monster. It just kind of dissolves into the air. It was like,
Yeah.
okay. And like I said, I get it. If that wasn't in the original theatrical release, that would probably make way more sense. But now it's just John. And that's, like I said, I think it could have just ended up here without that back and forth. Because that scene went on for, seemed like a long time. Maybe it was
A while.
3, 4,
Longish,
17 minutes. But it was fine. And I don't want to keep saying like it was terrible because it wasn't, but it was the most standard
Compared to the rest
for
of the
me.
movie, it's a little bit
Right.
formulaic and
Mhm.
they're having a ball.
Kind of takes you out a little bit.
Hmm.
I would disagree. I enjoy getting villains getting the shit smashed out of them.
True.
All right,
True.
all right.
True.
All right, no, and like I said,
But-
it's fine.
What's coming up is my favorite scene in
Yes.
the whole movie.
Jennifer Connelly's naked.
Unfortunately, that's not in this.
Close.
So Doc survives, which I was happy about. I didn't know if he was.
Yeah, that
No,
was
I
good.
was thinking
Yeah.
he was going to die, but no.
Yeah, I thought he
Okay,
was the
but
goner.
if you listen to what he says carefully and the way he looks at it, this is what keyed me thinking. He's a grand manipulator, and like this is his experiment. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that. John is not his experiment. What can happen next? That's why I
Yeah,
keyed onto
yeah.
that.
And he's like, oh, you basically said I can do whatever, I can make whatever I want with this.
So he wants to see what John wants to do.
And
Yeah,
just
I
he's
think
even
that's
taking-
just his
he-
inner
turning.
scientist, his inner curiosity, to be quite honest, because like he is a scientist at the core of who he is, which is why like he enjoys, maybe it's evil science, but he enjoys doing science. And I think that's the feeling that I was getting, is he's just like, I can't wait to see like what you do next, or I can't.
If his intention was to do good, then he's taking a risk because he doesn't know
Yes.
what John's going to do, does he?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He's taking a
Right.
risk.
it's calculated.
I don't think the doctor had I don't think the doctor had I don't think he had I think he had God, the word's escaping me. I don't think he had the best of intentions.
Yep.
Okay.
Fair.
I think he was crazy because of what they did to him. So that's I agree with like Joker there. He went crazy at some point and decided, you're going to manipulate me. I'm going to do my experiment and go even further.
Fair.
So I would just like to mention at this point, I'm assuming that everyone's personality that they had at this point in time is now frozen, and that's what they're going to remain
Yes.
for the rest of
Correct.
their lives.
Oh,
So if
yeah,
you've been made the hooker, then you've got
Well-
the fucking raw end of the stick, haven't you? Like, come on.
But it's only Schreiber's word that's been destroyed.
That's true. Yeah, because he says, "Yeah, I'm going to go find Emma," and he's like, she's not Emma anymore. I'm sorry, John. She has been imprinted." And he's like, "Well, can we change her back?" He's like, "No, that fucking you just blew up the lab, motherfucker." And John Schreiber, like, you
Yeah,
could
but
have
what I'm
fucking
saying is
warned me
if
about
you're
that shit. We
stuck-
could have saved that.
If you're
You
stuck with the guy
asshole.
cleaning the toilets out in the in the state train
Right.
station, then that's you could have been stuck as a rich person, and you're stuck as that shitty job.
So mad.
So you've got the rough end of the stick,
One
there.
imprinting away.
Or the shitty end of the stick.
Shitty end of the stick. Yeah.
So Anna's getting on the bus to Shell Beach now.
Mhm.
And if you look at Dr. Schreiber, he's no longer the scars are healed.
Hmm.
He doesn't look like he did before. He
And
looks
he's
like he
very-
did.
He is
Previously.
very, very blonde.
And this is
Very
Uncle
blonde.
Carl on the bus
Hmm.
giving up his seat. And John he's going. So the ocean is forming around. I thought this was a cool effect.
It's nice.
Yeah.
He's just making it,
And then he has
make
to
the
do
make the
let
island.
there be light.
So
And this
Yeah.
part,
No, he's
Mr.
still around.
Yeah,
this
go
is
ahead,
cool,
go ahead,
too.
go ahead.
Yeah, this
this
good
is my
scene.
favorite scene in the whole thing.
Hmm.
We hear a lot with these woke idiots with their deconstruction and subversion and all that, and subverting your expectations, and they do it all the wrong ways. This scene right here is the perfect way to subvert your expectations.
Because this guy is basically evil him, right? And you see him coming up on him, and you think there's going to be some huge-ass confrontation. The last two guys who can manipulate shit, right?
Mhm.
And what instead happens? He leaves the doctor behind and walks into the light.
Hmm.
Agreed. That was awesome.
Yeah, your imprint does not agree with me, John. But I had to know what it felt like. I thought it was good.
I got
And then
to see
John-
Susan Sarandon's tits. Why didn't I get to see Jennifer Lawrence? No, McCarthy's.
And this is where John tells him, "You guys got it all fucking wrong.
You looked in the wrong place.
Wrong spot.
Yeah, you're looking where it
You
meant
look-
to be human. Here is not where it is.
It's down here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Reference
actually
to the legs.
Down here. Down
Oh
there.
my!
Oh my.
So John's rotating the city the proper way because they don't like daylight, so that's why they never had it. And now, for the first time,
So where's the star?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
So
are they
they're
in
orbiting-
the galaxy?
So they've been orbiting a star the whole time.
Yeah, they just had to flip the whole city over.
Flip City.
It's- yeah.
oh fuck that! John's blind. This is what everybody felt like going off the set every day.
That's right. Yeah.
And there she is. Oops, bad shot.
That's actually a shot of James coming out of a club in Japan.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
People
Right out.
or me me taking off my shirt at the beach.
Get that leg. No balls for speed.
Blind.
So he realized, he knows that she's not her anymore. I don't even know how she got here. It doesn't fucking matter. She came on a bus, but this is just a weird place.
He manipulated it. He can do whatever he wants.
Yes, he made her want to go there.
He's giving her a larger chest right now.
This kind of reminds me of like, have you guys ever seen Eternal Sunshine?
Yes.
Mind?
Oh yeah.
So how they kind of like they meet each other there again at the same point.
Yes.
Yeah. Brought back memories of
So
that.
he asked her, hey, do you know how to get to Shell Beach? She's like, oh yeah, it's just over there. I'm going there myself.
It's a nice pickup line.
That's right.
Now, and he should have asked, what do you think that big fucking wall is around?
Yeah,
Shell
you should have said, I'll fly you over if you want.
Man, it would have been easier.
But yeah.
And then she's like, hey, do you want to come with me? He's like, well, clearly I have nothing else to do, so sure. And it's a lovely ending scene though.
It is nice.
And that's it. You don't get anything else from it. He doesn't do any other weird magic-y stuff. It's the end.
And then they're eaten by a giant shark.
Yes, the Meg.
And now the Meg has appeared.
The Meg appears.
And that's it. That's
a great movie.
Great.
Man, that is such a fun, weird fucking
Yeah.
movie.
Very good. Indeed.
It was great having you narrate us through that whole thing there, Roman. That was very nice. Are you stuck?
Yeah.
He's frozen.
Oh no!
Frozen
Oh.
Roman's been tuned out.
He has.
God damn it, what happened to me?
Oh my god.
Oh, you're back.
There he is.
You're back.
Oh.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Darn it.
That was weird.
Are you still Roman? Did you have new memories uploaded during that time, Roman?
I'm stuck again. What is happening?
He's
Oh my
Greek.
God.
He's now
Being
Greek, not
tuned.
Roman.
He is now Greek.
He's Greek of the Empire.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
Stop sharing. If I stop sharing, does that help?
He's
I don't
British
know
of
what's
the
going on. This
Empire.
is weird.
He's glitching.
God save the king.
Oh no, I'm like gone. Oh, that's isn't cool.
We can hear you though.
Yeah, you
It's so
leave
good.
you
That's
just
the worst
fine.
part.
It is.
Oh no, now I'm stuck like an asshole.
Detective.
Detective asshole.
Ass house.
I got some wild line going
Get
on.
it right.
Weird.
She blowed up good. Blowed up real good.
Shut this thing off over here. See if that
Mr.
helps.
Garage.
That helped. Okay. Well, no,
I'm
that didn't help
confused
either.
too.
Fuck my life. Anyway, so that was the walkthrough, and oh my fucking god!
There we go.
No, I was man, that's not cool. So I don't know why I'm getting the lag. Probably it's my stream saying you've been going a long fucking time. So that's right.
Let's all freeze and Roman
We can
doesn't
hear
get
you,
it,
Caleb.
we're all frozen.
But yeah, like I said, it's a pre-runner to the Matrix. Stop it. Oh, this is not fucking
It's hilarious.
Max
Just close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Max
to your
Headroom.
channel.
Right now, he's
All
not.
right, you can still hear me though, right? Yeah, you
Yes,
can
we can still hear you.
Yeah, I have to be an avatar.
Joker, something's
like
gonna fly in your mouth.
Shield wall. But I really, I mean, there's so many reasons to like this movie. And the director's cut is still under 2 hours, which is the nice thing about the director's cut. He didn't make it all weird and long and fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Like,
my
so
only
that was
complaint
nice.
about this movie is the pacing slows down a little too much in the middle. I don't want anything cut, but I would like a little more umph in the middle to move it through. You know.
I'm actually
Yeah, I
kind of
mean-
the opposite. I'm the opposite. I actually wanted to go a bit. I thought things were moving a little too quickly, in my opinion. But I'm just
No,
not
I
that
don't
kind of guy.
mean. I don't
Maybe
mean
the
that
third
plot was so
act.
smoothly.
I
I
could
mean
see
that it felt lag. I guess I would say laggy.
Okay.
It just like the story was enough. I would have liked to see more story at certain points, but
Yeah,
it felt like
yeah.
it was just going slowly telling you the story at times. You know.
I hear you.
I mean, like I said, my only complaint, which is got quotes around it when I say it, is fuck off with this thing. Is that end battle scene? I didn't. I know you liked it, Matt. I just didn't see it as 100% necessary.
It could have been better. I'm not saying it, but
I like the idea of just like I said, him kind of making them irrelevant and like, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna do what I want, boom, and then they're done, and then you get a little, you can cut the screen time down a little bit, and then he can go walk on the beach with Jennifer Connelly. But it's still a wonderful movie, a great follow up to The Crow, and what I probably his only, I think it's only his only two good movies.
Everything else seems like it.
I mean,
pretty much.
I think if they had done where instead of all the smashing stuff around, just had the big energy ball, and as they're fighting and mentally struggling, you see one by one the stranger just sort of pop and die, like that type of thing, like they're burning out. I think that would have been a little better, but I just like when villains lose on screen by their own
accepted.
Still think a laser cannon would have been the best. I wanted to see him cut them all in half with a big ray gun.
I mean, you know, whether it's the movie or the book, like in Lord of the Rings, for example, Sauron got done in by his own ring. If he had never made the ring, he would have won in the end.
And if they'd never made John, well, they didn't make John though. Dr. Schreiber made John under their experiment, in their experiment.
Just watching your tweet from 5 hours ago, Roman, where you're talking like this, and and it actually matches the words you're saying now, even though it's only a 12-second long clip.
Is this Roman City now?
Could be. I know I'm choppy as fuck right now. I don't know why that is. I'm sorry.
I have to ask. So we would drop in the reference the entire thing to him being riffraff. Ego, do you know what that reference was to?
I do not. I was trying to hope someone wouldn't ask me, and now I'm stuck. I don't know who it is.
Well, that's your next mission. Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's your next mission.
I have never seen that. I guess is that with Tim Curry in it?
Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll probably check that one out. All right, cool.
There's a version of it with the audience interactions. Watch that one.
Audience.
If you've never been to a live theater production of it, you don't know what you're missing. It's incredible.
It's a mildly amusing film on its own. But with audience interactions, it's like over the top.
I went to the 20th anniversary tour in the UK of the original production. It had 4 or 5 of the original cast, and it was great. It was just the most fun thing ever.
What's it about? I guess I can check it out.
Yeah,
you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
It's kind of like an old RKO horror film, but with transsexual aliens.
It's an homage and a parody all in one. I'll put it.
It's a musical.
It's a musical. Yeah.
It's just a jump to the left. Charles Gray, the narrator.
Yeah.
Hey, it's even got Meatloaf in it.
I'll tell you this: there was nothing like it before it came out. That's for sure.
That's true.
Susan Sarandon's cute in it too. So.
The closest thing to it would have been the original Little Shop of Horrors.
Well, I thought they were the same thing. That's why I was confused.
They're very close in tone. They're quite close in tone.
Yeah,
I would say.
I'm glad y'all told me because I'm like, where's Rick Moranis?
Rick Moranis, you mean this Rick Moranis?
Oh, good God! Hey, over here for donuts. Don't listen to him, eh? He's a hoser.
Hey,
there's another movie.
That Rick Moranis.
Watch a movie called Strange Brew.
That's hilarious.
That's from Strange Brew. Well, it's actually that's from the album, the Bob and Doug McKenzie album. But
yeah,
I did a whole stream on Strange Brew. It was fun, and I've done an SCTV live stream too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. That was a lot of fun because none of the clips are copyrighted for some reason, so you can play what you want.
Wow.
Hey, guys, I got to go ahead and jet. I got to be up early from work tomorrow, but thank you guys for letting me on the panel. And,
well, thank you for hanging out, Ego. And what you just did a review of Warworld of Justice League.
Yeah. Check it out if you guys get a chance. It just dropped. I actually saw it a few days ago because I'd been meaning to watch it. It was pretty decent for an R-rated animated film from DC, which I didn't even know until I actually saw it, but I actually dug it. So yes, check it out when you get a chance.
And well, thanks for hanging out with us, Ego. Cool. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the movie.
Anything else to announce there?
I'm joining your stream tomorrow night, dude. I cannot wait. And then I'll be with Abomination AG on Saturday. Then I think I'm with Legion of Memers Saturday afternoon, and then with my wife on Sunday afternoon as well.
Nice.
Is that the Legion of Memers anniversary show? Or, yeah, I'll be on that early on, I think. Yeah.
Dude, all right, man. I'll catch you on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I
Then.
look forward to it, mate. Yeah.
All right, I'll catch you guys later.
Later, bro.
Later, bud.
Bye. Bye.
And I got to
All right,
scoot
and-
too because
Yeah.
I got to scoot too because it's a work night and I still have to record my video for tomorrow and make food. So
Later.
All right, well, Joker, I'll hit you up in the next couple of days about next week and what the starting of our next grand adventure together.
alrighty, sounds good.
And I'll watch.
Check.
I'll watch Warrior and reach out to you tomorrow. So I'll watch Warrior tonight.
Cool. Check me out tomorrow. Tomorrow the morning, I'll be dropping a video with talking about Marvel and Money to Burn and why are they burning? Why have they been burning through cash? It's not about my money. It was about the message, and that was the MCU for the last 4 years. And then, yes, as Ego said, tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, over on Legion Talk for Friday night's Royal Rumble. Roman, thank you again for having me.
All right, my brother.
Shield, I'm glad you're back.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Jinja, always a pleasure.
Yeah, always great to see you, man. Yeah.
This man, touch of class here.
And then, thanks, buddy. Good to hang out with you. It's great to hang out with you.
Matt, always a pleasure. And of course, my scissor sister.
Always fun to be on a panel.
All right, Joker. And I'm frozen like that, like a fucking asshole.
was Roman's
God
evil
damn it.
thing, you know?
Actually,
I don't know what
Roman-
happened. I don't know why at the end of the stream
Yeah.
it's fucking Matt. I'm gonna have to hit you up for some tech assist later.
But before as well, don't forget to reach out to me about doing these slides without having to sit and hit. You can do it in VLC automated. I do it all. I've got it just does it automated. Yeah. So
yeah, that is way better than what I did because that was fucking painful. 735 slides.
Roman, I'm going to pop out here as well. Got the
all right, brother.
Got to do the family thing.
Oh, right on.
But it was really fun on here. Like the time flew by. That was great. And again, you were great at just like walking us through the whole movie. A lot of great insights from everybody in the panel here, and awesome stuff going on in the chat as well. Had a great time, and would love to do this again anytime.
Well, right on. Well, thank you for coming out, James. I really appreciate it. It was a good time for sure.
Yeah, it's always great when you're on the panel.
Yeah, it's the little one. It's her summer vacation right now.
Oh,
hello.
Hello. Yeah. So thanks again, and I've been out of commission. I got an injury here of my own doing, so kind of stupid. But hopefully going to be back in action within the next couple of weeks.
Good.
Yeah. But
good to see you, buddy.
Just be on the lookout for some new artwork coming out. So again, thank you
Awesome.
so much. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Okay.
All right,
have a good
brother.
one.
I'll hit you up here in the next little bit about the next big.
Oh yeah,
thing.
definitely.
See what
This is
happens.
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
Right on, brother.
Definitely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you, mate. And then there were 5.
And then there were 5.
And there were 5.
It's feel like an
All right,
Agatha
well,
Christie novel here. We're just
5 sarcastic reviewer.
So, Shieldwall back in the game. You got anything else coming up?
Let's see. No. Oh wait.
You know what you're getting into next week?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look. I don't have all the details. I don't want to say stuff that isn't true, so I got to kind of look. But yeah, it's great to be back. This is a good movie to come back on. I talked some tonight, but I kind of paced myself a little bit.
I'm just glad you're back, man. I'm always happy when you're on the panel, dude.
Well, it's awesome. Thanks for having me on here. And to the chat, it was great seeing everybody in here. I know I've been kind of not very active in streams or on Twitter or whatever, but or X, whatever the hell it's called now. But it's good to see everybody in here and see everybody joining. And the co-streams are fun too, being with the chat and stuff.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, it is, and I think this was a good stream, and I'm glad to be back, and I look forward to keep doing more of them.
Well, right on, right on. I'll fill you in on the next week's stuff later.
Okay,
Mando, what else do you have coming up?
So this weekend, I am actually going to be traveling out of town to visit some friends I haven't seen in a while, but I do have quite a bit of content coming out on my YouTube channel. I recorded like 7 videos and just like scheduling them all out. I actually released one earlier today about my thoughts on what Blue Beetle is going to do and what's going to happen.
Oh my.
Just reading the article, my soul was leaving my body. So that's gonna be interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it or not. I probably won't, but hey, who knows? So yeah, just be looking on my YouTube channel for quite be looking on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get monetized hopefully before fall comes into play, but we shall see. Yeah, I'm hoping to at least get to 500 by, the next couple of months. I'm at 215 right now, so woo.
The climb.
On the grind, and climbing. So
right on. Well, thank you for coming back. You too, I will hit up about the adventure to come next week. Matt, you've been doing a lot of stuff lately.
I've been. I'm going through my reread of Wheel of Time for the first time in 10 years. So I'm doing reviews of every book. Plus, Wheel of Prime is being released next week, 2 weeks. And it annoys me. Like, so this year is the 50th anniversary of the death of J.R.R. Tolkien, right? And last year they insulted Tolkien by putting that crap out on his death day, I should say. Now this year, I think Wheel of Prime is coming out on his death day. Like, maybe I'm looking for every insult by Amazon against him or whatever. But anyway, I'll be ripping those apart like everyone else should be.
Right on.
Because Jordan deserves better. He's more.
Yes,
he deserves better than he's been getting from this. So I'm reviewing that. There's a TV show called 30 Coins, which I found by accident. Like I find.
Oh, that thing is good, dude.
Yes,
that is a good show.
I'm slow walking my way through it because I want to do reviews of every episode that means something. Sorry.
What streaming service is that on?
HBO Europe, but I can help you. I can. I
think it's on Netflix. I think you can find it on Netflix.
Yeah.
So that's where I watch it.
It's a European show.
Yeah. It's Spain. It's set in Spain. It's beautiful.
It's a good show.
Yeah. And an interesting H.P. Lovecraft tie-in because the actress who plays Merche played in the H.P. Lovecraft movie Dagon from 20 years ago. That was our first movie role. Yeah. But so I'm reviewing that. I'm slow walking. I want to do good reviews. I finally have access to the next few episodes of Bleach. So I'm going through it. I guess the travesty. It's a great adaptation, but it's a travesty because the last arc of Bleach had a lot of individual great moments, but was overall meh. I mean, it's like you finally get to see Old Man Genocide's Bankai, and then they just kill him. Like if it's like the biggest, it's like the best special maneuver outside of some of the ones in Naruto or Fist of North Star ever. And the fans were like, it took like 8 issues of the manga through the whole thing, and anyway, so I'm doing that. Well, I have one other thing I've been trying to do. I want to do a lot more, but health and life and all that, and so I'm just saving my Lord of the Rings angst for when that comes out in December.
Right on.
And obviously this, and hopefully get another movie in another few weeks. And
I'm thinking I'll throw the idea at you because I definitely want you on the panel for the idea that I'm thinking about for the next big show.
About a week or two ago, we just did the 13th Warrior on Jacob's.
Over on Jacob's channel. Yeah, that was a good stream. That was a really good stream.
Oh, yeah. I love that movie. I just love that movie so much. And what else? We did something else. There's something else people should know about. Joker and I are going to do something about the TV show Warrior.
Awesome.
Which is based on the works of Steve, so Bruce Lee wanted to do. And whatever. So,
Yeah.
Right on. Brian, hey, first I want to say that your stream on the Kinks was just so good. I enjoyed the F out of that. That was a lot
Thanks,
of fun,
buddy.
man.
I appreciate you
that was
saying
great.
that. It's an example of the music shows I do. That it's probably the best example of what I'm aiming at when I try to make these shows. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I even got a little tiny bit of Twitter attention from Dave Davies of the Kinks, which was nice.
Nice.
Don't know if he watched the show, but he certainly was reading my tweets about it. And,
not there. It is.
but yeah, it was a fun show, and as I say, the music shows I do, it's only talk and roll. It's probably the best example of those. It's what I'm aiming for in each of them, just the right mix of songs I like and why I like them and why they're important, but a lot of fun too. So hell, I even sang.
Yes, you did.
So that was on last Monday, and go back and check that out, everybody, if you've got any interest in this wonderful legendary British band who I adore. And they bring a tear to my eye when I listen to the songs now. It's sad, getting old. So that was last Monday. Tomorrow I'm making a rare 2-hour round trip foray to the only cinema in the city near me that shows Korean movies.
Wow.
I'm going to see a movie called The Moon. It happens to be on the other side of the damn city.
I heard about
this side. Why not the east side? It's on the west side. So this is a movie I previewed a couple of weeks ago. Really looking forward to this. A Korean astronaut stranded in space. Do Kyung-soo plays the astronaut. He's been in the Along with the Gods movies. If anyone's ever watched those, I think they're on Netflix or Amazon. And then the other guy is trying to rescue him is Sol Kyung-gu, and he's in things like Kill Bok-soon and a great movie called Yaksha Ruthless Operations, if you ever get the chance to see that. So hopefully a review of that tomorrow night. I'm really looking forward to this movie. And the distributors have actually, they quite liked my preview of this, Well Go USA. So I've got a little bit of back and forward with those guys, because I've been promoting a lot of their movies, Korean movies. So getting a little bit of love out of the distributor, which is nice. However, on Monday, Canon Film Club is back on Monday on my channel at 3 p.m. Mountain Time with Tom Connors, and Andre from Midnight's Edge is hoping to join. It's a little bit late for him, but he's hoping to join. Razor may be there or may not be there. Who knows? Sometimes he drops in, sometimes he doesn't. And then Austin Trunick, who writes the Canon Film Guides, will be there. So we're going to do Masters of the Universe, which is going to be such fun.
I know this is a bad movie, but I love it because I love He-Man.
Exactly. It's a bad movie, but it's a bad movie in such a good way. I mean, it's just...
And as bad movie is, Lundgren is a perfect guy to play He-Man.
Oh, great! Yeah, and just some of the action in it and stuff. It's fabulous. I love it. I love this movie. So that's on Monday. I'll be doing a bunch of other things, various videos here and there, appearing on other shows, and future shows coming up because we're doing really well on the channel. I mean, up to about 1,125 subs.
Right on.
Getting a lot of views. The views are going up now, which is great. Instead of 30, it's 300, this kind of thing. So putting a lot of effort in. Future shows coming up in the next couple of weeks we'll do a Motorhead stream on It's Only Talk and Roll. And then I'm going to do another cult comedy crew show on Kentucky Fried Movie. So lots in the works.
Wow. I love that movie.
So that's thank you for allowing me to go through those at some length. But and I do also on Thursdays on the Rock and Roll Rowdies YouTube channel, I host a weekly show with those guys. These are my roadie pals, my road manager pals, who I've done a number of shows with, but they've got their own channel. I'm hosting a live show for them. We're going to do some more videos. They're actually getting a lot of attention from digital radio stations and live venues in the UK, particularly, that want to put them on as a show.
Wow.
There's
awesome.
There's some talk of Netflix in the works as well. Netflix.
Cool.
I'm hoping to remain a part of their entourage for these things. So these are great guys. If you've never seen them, they've managed some of the biggest bands in the world: Jack Genesis, Pink Floyd, Page and Plant, Average White Band, Wishbone Ash, but Dio, Ronnie James Dio, stuff like that. So the list of bands they've worked with is endless. So always a ton of great stories, some of which they're allowed to tell on the radio, on the YouTube, some which not tell. So check those out. Thursdays at 1 p.m. on the Rock and Roll Rowdies channel. So I'm exhausted. All that plugging, I feel like such a hooer.
It's a lot. No, you got a lot of good stuff, though, man. You got a lot of good stuff. That's
working hard at it.
Just wait 12 hours. You'll be the bin man at the station.
Exactly. Yeah. You guys know what it's like, though. You put a lot of effort into it, and you're proud of what you do, and it's fun. So we'll have to talk about it.
I was saying, not enough people talk about Korean movies. They're better than anything with getting out of Hollywood for the most part.
I think in the last 2 or 3 years, I've watched something like 300 Korean movies and dozens of TV shows. And
have you seen The Witch Part 1 and 2?
Sorry.
Have you seen The Witch Part 1 and The Witch Part 2 yet?
Not The Witch. No, I haven't seen that yet. No.
With The Witch Part 1, The Subversion, came out in 2016. And The Witch Part 2, the other one, came out like 2 years ago. They're making the third one. They're science fiction horror films, but they're not like overly gross out. They're awesome.
I've got that written down, mate. Yeah, I mean, I've seen them mentioned before, but you know what it's like. I've got a list this long.
And you'll recognize all the actors from.
Oh yeah, that's what I do. And the funny thing is, my wife and I, we love these movies now, and we don't all remember the names of the actors. We go, that guy's Hawaii Pistol. That guy's the weird. That guy's the weird. That guy's the slapper. That guy's Big Bet. And we just use the names of the roles.
It works. It works.
Yeah, but Lee Byung-hun, Choi Moon-sik, Son Soo-koo, Ma Dong-suk, the slapper, Dom Lee. These are all wonderful actors. There's so many good movies coming out of there. Love them to death. But anyway, Hwang Young-min is the greatest actor possibly in the world today. I think
he said something dirty, but I'm not sure, so we'll go out on that. So
I'm glad that John, that you know what I'm talking about. So yeah.
I do want to thank everybody on the panel for joining us tonight, and this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing these streams a lot. And to the chat, oh my goodness, you guys were killing me tonight. Wow. It was both funny and brilliant. Yeah.
Aside from freezing up, what do you got coming up?
Oh, that's great. That's a good one. That's fucking fantastic, man. That's perfect. God, I hate me so much.
You're the master.
So we are gonna start going into Ahsoka, and not in a sexual way.
I was just gonna say.
Yep. I might have to hate watch that because I love that character.
We're gonna watch it. I'm watching it. I'm watching it for one reason, and it's gonna sound stupid. I'm watching it for Ray Stevenson. Because that's one of the last roles that he is going to have, and it's kind of sucks. But I want to see. I still want to see him, so that's why I'm watching it. So that's going to start next Thursday. It's going to be it's a 2-hour whatever on Wednesday, or two episodes on Wednesday. So we'll see what happens on Thursday. Hopefully we can that's going to be a 2-hour stream. No, we're not. That's the series streams are going to be shorter. The first one's going to be longer because it's a 2-episode one. And then as we click them off one by one, it'll be the episode, and then we'll follow up with new stuff. Same thing we did with Secret Invasion, which was still, I had a good time with that. The show sucked, but I really liked doing the reviews. That was a lot of fun. We got a good breakdown with that. So I think we'll do the same. It should be a similar experience.
Especially how what's her name changed every time you said it.
Hey, sometimes I remember things, sometimes I don't. Actually, still don't remember most of the names of the characters on that show. So anyway, so that's going to be coming up next Thursday at 5 Pacific Standard. It'll be our what the fuck with the premiere of Ahsoka, and we'll see how it goes. I think we'll stick. I think it's only, is it 6 or 8, Mando? Do you know?
I don't. I think it's 8. That sounds right.
God, I'd rather it be 6, but I guess it's probably
too many.
As long as it's not 10. So on that, again, thank you so much to the panel and to the chat. I love you guys. This has been an awful lot of fun tonight.
Thanks for having me. Mate.
And until next time, please like and subscribe to the channel.
I'm going to get under.
Be kind. Sleep.